thousands. Every day. A show about everything and nothing. It's the Jay Thomas Show on Stars 2, Sirius 108 and XM 139. The Jay Thomas Show.
888-4-102-102. That's the number. Hell, phones are ringing already. Thank you very much. JThomas.com, where the brand new T-shirt is Barack Obama, the new Mr. Goodwrench. Also, my carbon footprint, bigger than your carbon footprint. All of that stuff. And what an exciting day for the Jay Thomas Show. A man that had been a guest on our show, someone I've known for a long time, admired, actually went over to Caroline's and saw him one night and paid the cover charge and everything, just like a normal person. Kevin Meaney is here with us today. There you go. In the house.
Thank you very much. I feel like I'm at the ballpark.
Now, Kevin Meaney, comedian, and the thing that he did years ago when I lived in Hollywood, there was a giant sign right outside of my home as I drove down to the bottom of the hill. It said, "Watch Uncle Buck," Tuesday nights or whatever. It was on CBS, wasn't it?
CBS.
You were Uncle Buck. After the show came out with the Big Fat Dead comedian, they hired you. Sometimes I don't remember people's names, and what I have to do is say, and he was a friend of mine, I forget his name.
John Candy.
That's right.
Yeah.
Big fat. But when I say Big Fat Dead comic.
Well, he wasn't dead at the time. He was alive and well.
We knew he was going to die, though.
Well, maybe you knew he was going to die.
You know who's a friend of mine is John Goodman, and I look at him all the time and I think, how much longer?
Do you say that about me?
No, you're not.
How many people do you say that about?
Well, you know what's funny about this show? I know Tim Allen listens because I've done those Santa Claus movies with him. And so he proved it to me by taking you into the trailer and showing you his equipment and then complaining about the signal to me as if I was going to come back and fix it. Remember that, Sean? Tim Allen complained about the signal, and then in his comedy act, he actually did a thing, like whatever. So we know that. But we don't know who else listens, and apparently nobody famous enough to hurt us is listening. So this is the chance for you to vent.
Well, a lot of people I know listen to this program. You know, a lot of famous people.
No, they don't.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. George Wendt.
That's true.
Yeah, he listens to this program.
We don't say anything.
He's a friend of mine.
Even though George is a little overweight, he's carried it so long, so well. I don't think anything will happen to George.
So you're not predicting that he's going to die. Okay.
I think George lives to be 97. That's what I'm thinking.
But it seems to me that you seem to be predicting that a lot of people are going to be dying just because maybe they carry a little extra weight.
Well, I have to blame. Here's the thing. I want to live longer than everyone else. And many people that listen to the show on a daily basis know the immense selfishness that I have.
And you have lived longer than a lot of people.
I have. Here's the thing. When someone dies, like Ron Silver died.
God, that was tragic.
62 years old.
Your age. Hello? Is he still in the air?
We don't talk about any ages here, and I am not 62, and I'm not going to get in this big argument with you.
All right, but you are in your 60s.
No, I'm not.
All right.
And I want you to stop that.
Okay. I thought you were 10 years older than me.
No, I'm not.
I'm 52.
We were born the same week, you and I, blocked from each other. So when someone passes away like that, or you see somebody, in that, and I had met him a couple of times. He worked at Sirius for a short time. Now, of course, he went totally to the right, and became like Dennis Miller, right? So when those people pass away, we're sad, but we're not as sad. You know what I'm saying?
Just because they don't share your political views?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Now,
so do you not Dennis Miller met his demise, you would you wouldn't have a problem with that. You wouldn't be as sad as if he...
I would go to his funeral because we live in the same community, Dennis and I, but just to make sure he was really dead.
Yeah. Okay.
Just to walk by and go, okay, now I believe it.
Well, that is fantastic.
Unbelievable. I don't know why we brought this up. This is not what we're... You know what? We're here to make people happy. And we're here. This is now. I want to focus a little bit on you. And I thought something like I was thinking like my name, which is, really John Thomas, and I switch it to J, and then I have this horrifying, Italian name behind it. So, because John Thomas, it meant something. A Thomas person was, I believe they made muffins, or muffin makers. Then you had the Smith, and that's a person who would make, a blacksmith or something like that. Then there's someone's last name would be Tinker, and they would be a person that worked on iron, or various last names. Now, your last name is Meaney.
Yes.
And I was wondering if perhaps you had relatives that were mean.
No.
But how would you get a name of Meaney when different names mean things from way back when?
Well, that's the black Irish in me, the Meaney.
The Meaney,
yeah.
Right.
So not meaning that black people are He's more mean than...
What does black Irish mean?
That means that I'm darker than your normal Irishman.
Is that really what it means?
Yes. I have dark hair. I have dark features. I'm more of a Arab-looking than Irish-looking.
You don't look Arab to me.
Well, I'm darker than your. If you go to Ireland, you don't really see many people that look like me. You said they're very fair-skinned, freckles, red hair. They're very light. Yeah, they look like they have skin cancer. Myself, I'm more. I'm bronze. When I go out in the sun, I tan very nicely.
Was your group discriminated against in Ireland because of the dark hair and the stuff?
Oh yes, my family is still there. My father's family still lives in the same hut that my father's mother grew up in, and her parents grew up in. They still live there, and they have 2 rooms. And
no, they don't.
Yes, they do. No, I swear to God,
Does it have a thatched roof?
It does have a thatched roof with a satellite dish on top. So it's very bizarre because they never had any money. The whole time I grew up, we were always after we were done with our clothes, my mother would say, "Give me those clothes. We're going to send them over to your relatives in Ireland," and we'd always have to pack up packages of clothes to send them because they had nothing. Now, I'm absolutely serious. So now. You go forward, 30, 40 years, and now there's really extremely wealthy because they had all this land, and they waited until it was time to sell their land, and they sold it for big money, and now they still have their little hut that they live in, but they built a huge mansion that they, right up on the hill.
These are your real relatives.
These
that
are
you
my
were
real
sending
relatives.
little clothes to. Now they're very
Patty
wealthy.
Patty and Eileen.
Do they send you anything?
They never sent me a GD thing.
You can. By the way, you don't have to go GD. You can say whatever you want to say.
I'm not going to go there because that's not me. That's disgusting. But I went over there and I visited them a few years back when I did this comedy festival in Kilkenny. I think it was the Kilkenny.
Do you use an Irish accent when you go over there?
No, God. But you have to go up on stage and you have to drink. If you don't go up on stage with a beer, you're a pussy. So, they're looking at him, he's a pussy. He doesn't even bring beer up on stage,
Are you a drinker?
Oh, yes. I've had a couple before I got here just to loosen up.
We don't care. Yesterday, our co-host was apparently on some sort of pharmaceuticals. And we did the whole show with her, and we had to wake her up a couple of times. But what's great about satellite radio is, however you come to the microphone, Sean Kelly, the executive producer, Sean, however you come to the microphone, we accept you, right?
Well, I was just at a farm party before we got here.
Yeah.
You know what a farm party is?
No, I don't.
No, you don't. Because you're old. You don't know what a farm party is.
No, I'm from the South, and a farm party is a whole different thing.
No, well, maybe that's not the farm party I went to.
Stop that pig from squealing, Bill.
The farm party is you go to
That's the prettiest mule I got, Bob.
What the kids do today, they go to their parents' medicine cabinets, and they just take out all their pills. And they don't even know what they are, and they just bring them to... the party, and they just throw them out on the table, and they go, let's take them. And they just, start taking pills that they don't even know what they are. And that's called a farm party, and you get all messed up on that.
My kids, like today, if they did that, they would throw the package of Imodium out there,
Yeah,
start taking,
from what you said before the show, absolutely.
Non-diuretic stuff.
Yeah.
So. Barney Frank is on line 1. Kevin Meaney is here. Yes, Barney, the Jay Thomas Show. Kevin Meaney. By the way, in a few minutes, we'll talk to a guy who is will tell us the weird and wonderful things and why we believe in superstitions and supernatural things. He has written a book called Super Sense, Why We Believe in the Unbelievable. Wouldn't you like to spend a long time with this fellow?
Yeah,
and,
I would.
And so he's going to tell us about that, and he's not the only guest we have. We have a woman on that says people should start getting married at funeral homes. We'll have her on to talk about that.
I should have been married.
And the
myself.
Testicle Festival. I always bring something for the co-host that I think that they'll enjoy.
Absolutely.
So the Testicle
Let's
Festival.
do the teabagging.
There you go. Barney Frank, yes, welcome to the Jay Thomas Show. Kevin Meaney.
There's a Barney Frank. Is that guy going to be talking about Nancy Pelosi? Because she's unbelievable.
I don't know. You're going to talk about Nancy Pelosi?
By the way, Jay, the Golf Channel's on hold, and if I wanted to hear about a ball getting stuck in a rough, I'd change over to Outkill.
You know what? Do we have the Golf Channel on hold again?
Yeah,
can
that's
you
right. Barney Frank doesn't like it.
All right. Call him up, Barney Frank. Now, Kevin?
Yes.
This may not be the real Barney Frank.
No, I don't think it is. I know Barney Frank, and
Yes, we've met many a time before.
I remember I actually met you at a glory hole.
Oh, no,
That's
you didn't.
correct.
I believe I did.
Kevin Meaney
What-
is talking
yeah.
about 12 inches down there.
All right. You know what? I do not want to reduce this show to some sort of,
That's disgusting. I never
Yeah.
met Barney Frank at a glory
No,
hole, but
he's
I
not.
have a letter from Barney Frank.
You did-
But when I was younger, I wrote to him, and
No, you didn't.
I did write to him, and I didn't know why. I don't know why I wrote to him, but I did. I was a concerned citizen, and he was my congressman up in Massachusetts when I
Well,
lived
that
up
makes
there.
sense, doesn't it?
And I did write to him, and he wrote me back, and he wanted to date me.
With my special stamp.
What's your special stamp? Well,
I shot a
Barney.
load on the bottom.
All right,
Did you
that's
get
it.
that, Kevin?
No. All right,
His
thank you
special
very
staff?
much. Stamp.
Stamp.
Thank you, Barney Frank. By the way, I wanted to get off. I wanted to say congratulations to the United States because these pirates have taken a ship, and it's been a long time since an American ship.
They are having a great season this year, the Pirates. You know,
They
are 2-1, and
Right.
not that I'm a big Pirates fan, but
They're doing great.
They are doing great. It's a great season for them so far.
They have
Pittsburgh
screwed.
Pirates.
They have screwed with the wrong country now, my friend.
No, I know what you're talking about. The Pirates.
Yes.
This is the first time since 1804 that a U.S. ship has been hijacked by pirates. Did you know that, Jay?
You know what? We've had airplanes hijacked. We've had all kind of stuff. I did not know that was the date.
Yeah.
But that's a long, like Bluebeard or Jean Lafitte or one of those guys, right?
Decatur.
These pirates from Somalia have done German ships. They've done, I guess Libya has a lot of flags flying or whatever. They've done Swedish ships. But now they've fooled with the United States, and then the crew took the ship back.
You know those Germans, they make great stuff.
And they have...
That's what the ShamWow guy says, So
They
you don't want to
have-
mess with that.
They have the captain of the ship, and they brought him ashore. And they have fooled...
Did they bring him ashore? I don't think they brought him ashore. I think he's still out in the dinghy.
They just have the poor guy in the dinghy?
They have him out in the dinghy, away from the ship. But the people on the ship, I believe it's called the Alabama. The ship's name is the Alabama.
It is the Alabama. Yeah, wow.
And,
you really...
Maersk? Is it Maersk?
You're right. Maersk.
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 Yeah.
It's a line, and it's an American ship, and they went out and got it. I don't see how the little speedboats get up on the ship, but they know how to do it. Perfectly.
Yeah, I don't know how they get up. How do they do that? Is it that
You're not allowed to have a gun on board a ship. Any ship in the world, you can't have any guns.
Which is ridiculous.
Stupid. And I'm not joking when I tell you, you're allowed to throw rotten tomatoes, and that's what they have on board. They have rotten tomatoes, and they have water guns. That's all, like hoses. But they're not allowed to, and this was passed. We actually do, you probably can't call
This is international law.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
You can't have a weapon. They're going to change that soon. And the weird thing is as the speedboat is heading for the ship, and I said this the other day, why don't we strafe the damn thing, Call a jet in or call whatever in and just, mow them down. They say they can't do it because it's a speedboat, doesn't mean it's going to do anything.
You actually have to get on. You have to if you think you have to go on board. You have to get on that ship, that boat,
right.
And you have to ask them for their paperwork. That is what international law says that you have to do before. Otherwise you just can't shoot at them. You have to board their vessel and ask them for their paperwork. And these Somalians,
you have to ask. Wait a minute, you have to ask the pirates for their paperwork.
Yes, you do, because you can't assume that they're pirates. They don't have a patch on their eye, and
sure they do.
They don't have a kerchief on their head.
Sure they do. Parrot on their shoulder.
Teeth, parrot on their shoulder. They're, I'm a Somalian. They don't even talk like that.
But wait a minute. Wait a second. And if they sometimes have winches with them. They always have those kind of sexy women.
Oh, those dirty winches.
Those dirty winches, right?
Yeah.
And so you have to board the pirate ship, the boat, and establish that they're pirates, first of all, before you can do anything. It's stupid.
Yeah.
Dumb. I think this is a war we can win, though, because what we can't win is we can't win a war when we don't, when the uniforms get all mixed up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and every president wants a war. It's not that they want a war, but they get involved. Like Clinton had his war, Reagan had his war, which was in the Falklands, right? The Falkland Islands.
That's right.
The Falkland Islands.
That's right. He also sent troops to.
Did I say the Falkland Islands?
You did.
Yeah.
Falkland.
Oh, but Falkland. I thought I was saying the Falkland Islands.
No, we didn't send troops.
They stayed in Boston.
No, the British sent that.
The Falkland Islands.
We sent troops to Grenada. And we saved medical students who could not get into American medical schools.
Yes.
Because the Cubans were there.
Didn't Clint Eastwood win that war?
It was won so fast, it was like 2 or 3 days. Yeah. People were killed. Barack Obama has said he has an intense interest in the security of navigation.
Yeah.
That's what he said. That was his statement. That's a weak statement as far as...
And he's going to win this war,
I think, to me, you go down there, you strafe them, you shoot them, and you just ask questions later. That's what pisses me off.
Yeah.
So they've got this guy, so that's what's... So I would love to see a fiery response from the United States. And I hope they do it. But I didn't know it was 1804. That is unbelievable.
That's the last time a U.S. ship... And I don't know what ship taken. That was. That was taken.
That was when, what's his name? Thomas Jefferson was the friggin' president.
Yeah, you got that right.
Unbelievable. By the way, before we go any further, Kevin, are you appearing anywhere this weekend that we can talk about?
No, but next weekend I'm going to be in Rochester, New York, at a club called the Comedy Club. They really thought about this name. Mm-hmm. They said, let's call it the Comedy Club. And then the following week I'm going to be in Detroit at the Center for the Performing Arts.
That sounds like a big deal.
Yeah, that's a big deal. It's for Forgotten Harvest.
No one lives in Detroit anymore. So, do you have, it's supposed to be like deserted there now.
Well, it is deserted, and people will be coming in from different parts of the country to come see the show, but nobody from Detroit will be there.
Now, are you going to give? Is it to raise money for food? Is some sort of harvest thing?
It's to raise money for people that are hungry.
Great.
Yeah, no, for the homeless.
I'm not, you don't know much about me, but I'm a conservative a Democrat. I'm not big on the homeless. I read a thing today that in Honolulu, they have wanted to start sending they want to send the homeless back to the mainland. Because what they're saying is, and this is the truth, the homeless love the beach.
Yeah.
And they'll go to Santa Monica, they'll go Santa Barbara, where I'm. They go to Florida, and apparently they went over to Hawaii, and they're not Hawaiians.
How did they get to Hawaii?
I don't know. Isn't that weird? Did
they become homeless in Hawaii?
They probably did. They went over there maybe for a vacation, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And they just stayed, and the state lawmakers want to fly them back one way.
Economy, of course.
That's right.
They're not going to fly them back first class or business class.
To reunite them with their families. That's what they're saying. And I say, to me, and when they build a homeless shelter, don't build it anywhere near where you pick them up. Take them out in the friggin' desert. Put them in the desert. I don't, you live in New York. Don't you walk by the homeless all the time?
I work the Port Authority on nights that I'm off. And, you know, you can make a lot of money.
Right.
You know, but no, I'm not in the home. I'm not out there doing that, you know. But,
I don't think you're doing it, but you see them when you walk down.
But I do say, I see the homeless by the Port Authority, and, you know, there's like a little shelter there where they go and eat, and, you know, and there's another guy that, you know, I'll give change to occasionally.
Here, you know, here's my thing. A truck goes around at night, I've said this before, and it shoots them with sleepy juice, you know. And you put them in the truck, and you give them a little shot. And if you were to go there and not see so many homeless, no one's going to look for them. No one's going to ask about them. And I just think it's an interesting policy.
Jay, have you ever thought about taking a life insurance policy out on these people, too, before you give them the sleepy juice?
That's been done.
I think I saw that on CSI or something, or... somewhere, you know.
Here's what I think.
It's an insurance scam.
I want to go back to the Somalia thing. I'm thinking we send Black Hawk helicopters, but this time, drop homeless on them.
Yeah.
Just drop the homeless on them.
We can have Jimmy Carter pilot the helicopters. Yeah, everybody, I'm going to try that Black Hawk the helicopter thing again. I think I can do it this time.
Well, he told us on this show.
Thank you very much.
He told us when I first came on the air, we had him on, he had a book or something. He said that's what cost him the election, is when the helicopters crashed into each other.
Yeah.
That was terrible.
No, that was terrible.
That was in Iran, right? Remember that? Then who sent I guess it was Clinton sent the Black Hawk helicopters into Somalia. That was terrible also.
Yeah.
You know what?
But, you know, nobody does a Jimmy Carter impression anymore, so I'm glad I was able to get that out.
You know what? I haven't heard one of those in a long time, and I'm glad.
You ever heard my L. Jolson?
No.
When April showers, they come your way. That'd be great for Somalia. You know, this way, maybe send them some L. Jolson music.
Well, many people are saying, and I agree, and I've said this now, don't drop bombs. I wouldn't drop that CD exactly, but you drop jeans, you drop soda pop, you know, Coca-Cola, you know, DVDs and all that stuff, and that'll turn the world around. But strafing, I just don't know. And when you watched a war movie when you were a kid, whatever was trouble, the plane would go down. They didn't ask who they were killing; they just strafed.
Yeah,
go right into friggin' Somalia. Strafe the village. They know exactly where the pirates live. Exactly. It's like one little town. In all the movies, the British, when they wanted to blow, they just blew the whole damn town up.
Well, that's what the British did back, in the 1800s when they had all the pirate problems. The British went in and
boom,
and they destroyed everybody.
Exactly.
You know? And because they were against the slave trade, and so they went in and they freed all the slaves and they
leveled the town
and got rid of the pirates.
Exactly. And we can't do that anymore. And whether you're, conservative or liberal or whatever, it's really stupid. And so they're going to and they laugh at it. They take the boat out to the ship. They hijack the ship. We can't do a damn thing. And what's the use of having all the ships and the planes and everything else? For God's sakes, kill somebody. God forbid. We're over there in Iraq now giving out candy and nylons and chocolates again. No. Strafe. That's my new thing. Boy, that'd be a great name for a general, wouldn't it? General Strafe. General Jack Strafe. How are you? Welcome. Tim of Baltimore, the Jay Thomas Show. Kevin Meaney is here. 888-4-102-102. Yes, Tim of Baltimore. How are you? Tim? Sean, are they still listening to the Golf Channel?
Sorry, I was listening to the Golf Channel. I was confused with Dan Patrick being on there.
We'll get that. We'll get that off a hold as soon as we can. I didn't even know we had a Golf Channel.
It was actually Dan Patrick who was talking about football.
Just for the Masters.
We have it for
live. Yeah.
Well, you know what? Fabulous. So
there's nothing better than golf on the radio.
Well, we're not allowed to say anything like that. Apparently, if they made that decision, then it's a good idea.
Yeah, no, that's riveting. It's riveting radio.
Well, it will be.
He's lining up his putt, and he sees the cup. And he puts his putter to the ball. The ball is rolling and rolling, and ooh, it just missed the cup.
Golf's the best word for hangover. They only whisper, so.
Yeah, that's right. You have to whisper.
You can watch it on TV when you have a hangover because they're only going to whisper. So.
It's good to watch when you have a hangover. See that?
Yeah.
You see, Kevin, even our listeners always have a great idea.
And he's a lefty, and he's up to the tee box.
Actually, two things. Since you're at golf, men's golf is like best sport in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's the only sport that a bunch of women can get together on a nice day, play a nice round of golf, go back, have a couple drinks, maybe have a nice dinner, and then go back to the room and eat each other out.
Well, I'll tell you what, Kevin, you have brought a different type of listener to this show.
Did I say that? I didn't say that.
I like Kevin.
Yeah.
You didn't, but you're bringing people out. Your fans are calling.
Did I tell that man to say that these women go back to the room and eat each other out?
No, I don't even know.
My joke with golf is I shoot in the low 80s. If it gets any warmer, I don't play. That's a joke that I'll use. I won't go to the...
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah, there you go.
But did I say they go back? But,
No.
I think he's talking... I think what he's trying to say is that a lot of women golfers are lesbians.
No, I'm not trying to say that at all.
No, you're not.
No.
Well, they are.
Anyway, homeless... I only date homeless women because you could drop them off anywhere.
All right, you know what, Tim? Thank you very much. Send us where you're performing to jthomas.com. Kevin Meaney is here.
I love
it's
that.
Sirius 108 XM 139.
Jay Thomas Show. Every day something new, something bizarre. For you, for now. The new afternoon show on Stars 2, Sirius 108 and XM 139. The new Stars 2, Sirius 108, XM 139. Ian Vinny, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. East, 3 to 6 West. On the Ian Vinny replay directly after the show. Maxim Radio with Cavino and Rich. Noon to 3 p.m. East, 9 a.m. to noon West. Maxim Radio with Cavino and Rich. Replayed from 6 till 9 p.m. East. The Jay Thomas Show. 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. East. The Jay Thomas Show. Replayed from 9 till midnight Eastern. The new Stars 2. The new Stars 2. The new Stars 2. Sirius 108 and XM 139.
Is your credit score holding you back? Are you paying more for everything just because you don't have perfect credit? Well, it's not your fault. Credit card companies are doing everything they can to keep you in debt and never let you escape. But I've got a system that can fix your credit score once and for all. And I'm going to send you a free tape showing you the power of my proven system today.
My credit score is now 758. My wife and I are shouting for joy right now.
Hi, I'm John Commuta, creator of the Transforming Debt into Wealth system. My system doesn't just fix your credit score, it will permanently rebuild your credit status so it can never come back to haunt you again. It works no matter how bad your credit is or how much debt you have.
Our credit score was in the low 600s, and now we're at 780.
You can wipe the slate clean once and for all. Call right now and I'll rush you my free tape. For your free tape, call 1-800-500-7650. That's 1-800-500-7650. 1-800-500-7650.
Don't waste another dollar paying retail markups. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, the average retail store markup on home furnishings alone is 44%. So now's the time to join the Direct Buy Club, the home improvement and furnishings club with direct insider prices. Since 1971, Direct Buy Club members have been buying direct from the source, so they don't pay those hidden retail markups. The Direct Buy Club is not a store. It's a private club where members have access to confidential insider prices from over 700 name brand manufacturers or their authorized suppliers. Call 1-800-594-3865 and we'll send you a free visitor's pass to attend a Direct Buy Club open house. You'll also get a free insider's guide to buying direct with the inside information retailers don't want you to know. Call the Direct Buy Club, 1-800-594-3865, 1-800-594-3865, or online at directbuyradio.com.
Jay Thomas Show. The afternoon drive show on the new Stars 2, Sirius 108 and XM 139.
Jay Thomas here. Kevin Meaney is in our ha-ha seat today. 888-4-102-102 is our number. And I made this announcement earlier, but I'll have to say it again right now. I'm not ill. I don't feel badly at all. But starting yesterday, for some reason, I'll be just standing around, and all of a sudden, I have to rush to the bathroom. And sit down and do my business, but do you have
to urinate, or do you have to?
I have to poo.
You have to poo,
and it started right after the show yesterday, and so I went out. I had a regular day, did things, everything else. Got home last night and was there like a minute. All of a sudden, this thing hit me again. And I did it again, and then it got me up a couple of times, and it's happened a couple of times today. And I took an Imodium a little while ago, But if it happens while I'm on the air, I will just excuse myself. And we'll go to break and maybe play a song or something. But I
do you have a wireless mic that maybe you could bring into the bathroom with you?
I could call on the phone. I've done that before.
Yeah, I think that would be. I think a lot of the listeners would like to hear you go through this experience because that happens to everybody.
But it's
and it is satellite radio, so I don't think we were governed by the FCC.
No, I'm only saying it because it happened a couple of times, and I really am. I feel in fact, I feel fabulous. I don't feel good. I feel incredible. It's
Do you have any pressure right now?
No, nothing.
No.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So I figure if I talk about it, maybe this is it. But when we were away, I had mentioned that, and of course you popped in and said that you go on YouTube, and there are actually people that do that in the public mall.
Well, it's not because they have a problem with their bowels. It's because they want to do this. They go to, there's these people that go to the malls.
Oh, I thought it was people that got sudden bowel movement hit them and they had to go in the mall.
This is what they do. This is a fetish of theirs. Mm-hmm. And they want to do this. They walk into the mall and they see a big planter. Mm-hmm. And they kind of circle it for a little while, and it's all caught on the security camera, and they're just looking around at people, and then they're ready to go. They've got sweatpants on that they can just drop down in a minute, in a second, and they go over to the planter and they just drop their pants, and they just poo right there in the planter, and the security camera catches them, and then they look around like they've accomplished something great. Then they pull their pants up quick, and they look around, and they just run off into the mall. And occasionally you'll see a passerby go look at them and go, what did that man just do? And but they don't get caught. There's at least a couple of hundred videos like this out there on the internet, and you can every country, every denomination. Especially around this time Easter.
How do you get? I mean, they must have to take a laxative or something, and be just prepared to do it.
No, I knew a comedian once that just loved to shit anywhere. He would out in front of a comedy club. He would just drop his pants and just force himself. And
who was that?
Steve Sweeney, and from
this
Boston.
was his act.
No, it wasn't his act. He was just kind of in. He was in this fetish of a. There was something mentally wrong with him. He was disturbed. And he's been in the program now for a number of years, so I think he's fine now. But, he got on my elevator once, and I saw him dropping his pants and dropped them and just, right there, right in the elevator.
In the elevator?
And I go, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? And so the next morning I got on the elevator, and there was a sign put up in the elevator, please curb your dog. And I was like, that was a human. That wasn't a dog. And in my car once, yes, we rolled the window down. We're on our way to a gig, and stuck his ass out the window and just let it go.
And you have his home number.
No,
and
I would be laughing hysterically because it was so insane. Why would anybody do anything like this? But out in front of this club in Boston, it was called Play It Again Sam's. We went up and we did our set. And then, he got out in front of the club, and there were people milling around, and he just dropped his pants and just forced it out and just whipped them back up and ran off. And I was like, what is wrong with you? Why are you doing this? But, there are people out there, there's people out there that wear diapers, and they wear them all day, and they, they just do what they have to do, in public. What about that judge that was finally they removed him from the bench because
he had a penis pump under the
pumping up his penis
robe yeah and he wore a diaper. I don't know why he wore the diaper.
What about the astronaut woman that wearing the diaper cross country?
That's because she didn't want to stop to go to the bathroom. Because she was going to kill her boyfriend's girlfriend.
But still, she had a diaper on. I mean,
she did have a diaper.
Who's wearing diapers when you don't?
Well, she said that she had it from the space shuttle.
Yeah.
Oh my God! I am. You know, have you done Letterman? You ever done?
Yes.
David? Okay. When I had my kids, and I know you have a little girl. How old's your little girl now?
I don't know.
Okay, but
no, she's 9.
Okay, when I had my kids, you know, you do the just had my kid jokes, right? So you're almost, you know, it's an entitlement to say something about changing the diaper. You know, it's a cliche, but everybody likes it. And so I'm talking to the producer before it, and he says, "What are you going to talk about?" And I said, "I just had a kid, and I'm going to, talk about this." He goes, "Oh man, can't do that. You cannot say anything scatological, even about a child pooping in a diaper, in front of David Letterman. Nothing." And I said, "You're kidding." He goes, "No, and don't do it because he'll just stop right there, and so he can't do anything." And I'm a little bit like that. I mean, I can talk about it for a second, but to hear you, I think I'd be mad at the guy.
See, when I had 9 years ago, when my daughter was born, Kate, I came on your show in New York.
Right.
You were doing a very big radio show here in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And
wasn't that big?
No, it was big. It was very big.
Very big.
And I told you that I just had a daughter, and you said, "Do you change her diaper?" And I said,
I know. I went right to that.
And I said, "Yes, I do." And you said, "Now, isn't that weird that she's a girl?" And you were like, "You get turned on by?" I was like, "What is wrong?" I was like, "You are the most mental, insane person. Why would you say that?"
I don't know why.
Here's this little child that is just born, and you're asking me if I'm sexually.
I didn't say that.
Yes, you did. I didn't. You absolutely. I could not.
Why didn't you bring that up? You've never brought this up.
Well, I'm bringing it up now. And
I was just putting my act together. You know how when you're putting your act together and you try
that's not
crazy
funny.
things?
It's not funny. And my daughter, and now she's listening to the show.
But you can never forget it, can you?
No, I'll never forget it. And Dom Herrera did the same thing to me. You know, that sick comedian, you know.
Yeah, he's been on our show, too,
yeah,
Dom.
He's got some mental problems.
But I think I asked it more like, as a man, it's just odd. You're a guy, and the next thing you know, you got this little girl there. Sean, you have 3 daughters,
Yes, I do.
I'm not going to say anything about them.
No, you better not say it, because it's sick,
One time, my wife got some flu or something, and I guess she couldn't hold it, and she soiled the seat in our car, in our Volvo. Mm-hmm. And so my son was about 2 years old or whatever, and I look out the window and I see my wife dash from the carport into this little kind of pool house we have that has and I see my son following her, and my wife has a pizza box with her or something, right?
Yeah.
And apparently she'd picked up the pizza, and this thing attacks her, right? She's in the car, and she goes to the bathroom on the seat, and she's crying. She's
in the
so
pizza
upset.
box.
But no, when she got out of the car, she held the pizza box against her ass.
Okay.
As she ran, I'm waiting for the pizza to come, right? And I'm just looking out of the kitchen window, and I see her disappear. All of a sudden, she goes all over the place, and she yells to my son, get Daddy. I need help. He runs to me, and he says, Daddy, can I have a diaper? And I said, he's like your little boy. Okay. Yeah. So I get him a diaper. He says, no, I think I need another one. I said, oh, my God, what's the matter with you? He says, no, it's for Mommy. Yeah. And he was getting diapers for my wife. So I go inside. She's crying. This horrible thing had happened. The pizza's completely ruined.
Yeah, the pizza's
And
wrong.
she says, and in the car, there's the bad thing in the car.
Yeah.
So I go out to the car, and I go, oh, my God, this is awful. What are you going to do?
What a mess.
So I get the pizza box.
Was it leather?
No. Was it? It
must have been leather.
It was leather.
It wasn't a cloth seat.
So I do what I can do, but I decide I'm going to rush to the car wash.
The pizza place and get another pizza.
No, I took the pizza box, and I didn't sit in the seat. I just stayed up, kind of over the box. Mm-hmm. When I get to the car wash, they were closing the friggin' car wash. They were putting up the thing. Yeah. And I pulled the car in. I said, man, I need to get my seats cleaned. I'll pay any amount of money. And he looks and he says, what happened? And I hadn't thought of my excuse yet, right?
Yeah.
So I said, oh, my dog got sick in the car. I think I paid the guy like $100, And he says, I'm sorry, we've closed all of the stuff. We can't do it. And I had to drive all the way back home the same exact way. And so that's the end of that.
Have you ever cleaned your own car? Or,
I have a couple of times. Yeah, I'm not good at. I'm not. You know what? I was built for show business.
Yeah,
I was built to be wealthy and famous. I don't like to do a lot of things on my own.
Yeah.
Cleaning.
But you think your wife's feces, you would be able
awful.
to?
No.
Not that I would ever be able to do that. I couldn't even wash my wife's clothes. Like when we first got married. I would, she would throw her dirty, filthy underpants in with mine, and I was like, I would do them separately. I would do her clothes separately from mine. I wouldn't want them to mix together.
What would your wife have in her underwear that was? I mean, a man's underwear are the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, well, just imagine, a wife.
I don't consider my wife's underwear to be
okay. There's discharging. There's.
Oh God!
There's that. Well, there is. I mean, that's just absolutely natural. I mean, like a woman will discharge occasionally.
You're afraid of your wife's discharge getting on your underwear.
Yes, absolutely. And she only had one bra at the time. When I married her, that woman only had one bra, just one dirty gray-looking bra, and she would wear it with everything. She'd never even rinse it out. And I was like. I said, you really only have one bra? And then her sister actually got her into a bra club at Bloomingdale's. And
bra of the month?
Bra of the month or something like that. And all of a sudden she had 60, 70 bras. Just thrown.
Can I be very honest? I mean, since we're saying some things here and you brought something up. And
yeah.
I now know why you're gay. All right? This woman... You married the wrong woman.
I did.
She took a guy who was considering both sides of the aisle, just like in government.
Yes.
And you had an unfortunate, you had an unfortunate situation, and the woman took a man that could have been on our team and completely turned him because of her discharge and her graying brassiere. And I you know what? People go, how does that happen? Are you born gay? No, not everybody is. Sometimes you marry someone, and this is what happens, and that's why. And we're only here 40 minutes, and the next thing you know, we've solved something that scientists and anthropologists have been trying to figure out forever. All right?
Yeah, that's not
amazing.
Necessarily 100% true, but
in your case it is.
But there is some truth maybe there. I mean, but there was always something that bothered me about doing a woman's laundry. I could never put them together. I could never just.
That's it.
Yeah,
that's it. You married the wrong woman.
No, I don't think it could have been any woman.
Yes, it was.
Are
you afraid she's listening? She can't sue you for any more, can she?
There's nothing. I have nothing. It's all gone.
It's all gone, so she can't get anything.
There's not a damn thing that she could get from me, because there's nothing left.
Leaving a woman is one thing, but leaving her and then saying you're gay, that's got to cost you everything and every dream you ever had.
Yes, it does. It's over. Finished.
All right. Bruce Hood is on the way. He's written a book about why we are superstitious. I have these little superstitions, but I do them all the time. Kevin, we can't wait to hear yours.
Oh, I do.
Or call us at 888-410-202. It's the Jay Thomas Show. Kevin Meaney is here. Sirius 108 XM 139.
The Jay Thomas Show. Jay Thomas. Stars 2. The curious. The extreme. The fascinating. Jay Thomas is on the new Stars 2. Sirius 108 and XM 139. On Stars 2, the new morning show is Me and Vinny with Vinny Politan.
Coming up Friday on Me and Vinny, we'll take a look at the worst excuses ever for bad public behavior, like our friend Senator Larry Craig.
I'm a fairly white guy.
Plus the hottest Republican women and the return of Michael Billy. Was he really sick? Open phones Friday. Me and Vinny.
Me and Vinny, where the me is you. Me and Vinny. Weekday mornings at 6 a.m. East. It's the new morning show on Stars 2, Sirius 108 and XM 139.
PCs are a lot easier to use than they used to be. Open the box, turn it on, and with a few pain-free steps, you're surfing the web and sending emails. But pain-free goes right out the window when your hard drive crashes. And every year, 43% of computer users lose important files. Here's a pain-free solution. Back up your PC or Mac at Carbonite.com. Carbonite is by far the #1 online backup system because Carbonite safely, securely, and automatically backs up your hard drive off-site whenever you're connected to the internet. Carbonite Online Backup has restored over 2 billion files that otherwise would have been lost forever. And Carbonite costs less than $5 a month. Log on to Carbonite.com right now and use offer code PAINFREE to start your free 15-day trial. You'll get 2 free months if you decide to buy. Hey, don't wait for a disaster. It'll be too late. Back up your PC or Mac safely off-site right now. It's pain-free at Carbonite.com.
Are you worried about your investments today? Are you concerned about earnings, market swings, and tax obligations? Listen carefully, because now you can receive a free guide that explains how tax-free municipal bonds can benefit you. It's from Henyon and Walsh, one of the nation's leading specialists in municipal bonds. To get your free guide, just call 1-888-398-5511. This free guide shows you how municipal bonds can earn a strong stream of income, why the interest income is typically safer without the wild swings of the stock market, and how municipal bonds generate income that's federally tax-free. If you have $10,000 or more to invest, this free bond guide is for you, with no obligation. Just call Henyon and Walsh at 1-888-398-5511. Henyon and Walsh, Inc. is a member of FINRA and SIPC. Call for your free bond guide at 1-888-398-5511. That's 1-888-398-5511. Investing in bonds involves risk, including the possible loss of principal.
Jay Thomas. New for afternoons. New to 108 and new to XM. Jay Thomas. Stars 2. Jay Thomas. Sirius 108 and XM 139.
Go to BruceMHood.com. SuperSense, why we believe in the unbelievable. It's the Jay Thomas Show. Kevin Meaney is here. Bruce, welcome to the show. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing very well, thank you.
Anything you talk about will be better than what we've been talking about the last 45 minutes, Bruce.
Why? What was it? I didn't...
Oh, it was fecal matter and women's underwear and discharge.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, that sounds so
good. It was just awful.
That was some of our superstitions, Bruce.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. We never walk in front of a woman's panties that have discharge in them. We think it's
oh, gross,
horrible. Now look, you decided.
Yeah.
I've never had a guest come on here and say oh gross right before I start talking. So I'm very insulted. Now, you sit down and you go, I'm going to write a book about things that people think about that no one can prove wrong and make a ton of money. Is that the impetus for the book? I always wonder.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to retire to a Caribbean island and never have to worry about work. No, actually, I love my work. I wouldn't give it up even if I was suddenly made famous and rich by the book.
Are you Irish or Scottish or something?
Oh, well spotted. Well, there's a bit of Scots in there. I grew up in Scotland, but I was born in Toronto, and my mother's Australian, and I've lived around the world. So I'm a man of the world, as they say. No, the book, I wrote it because I had to exercise this demon inside my head, which was trying to pull together all the work I've been doing over the years and come up with something. And I think it's a good story, to be honest. I think it's really interesting.
But it's about what we believe.
Yeah.
Can I ask you specific, like when you cross your fingers?
Oh,
does that have something to do with Christ on the cross or something?
I think so. I'm not really sure about that. I mean, I don't.
But you wrote the book. That's why I'm asking you.
Yeah, well, the book's not really about those sorts of beliefs, to be honest.
Really?
I mean, in many ways, I was trying to leave religion out of the equation because I think there's been so much mudslinging with religion, and I didn't want to come over as another scientist kind of trying to poke people's belief systems and mock them, because that's not going to get anyone anywhere.
Well, what about knocking on wood?
Oh, I did mention that in the book. Yeah, Yeah, that could be pagan, it could be Christian. No one really knows the origins of those ones. But you're talking about these sort of beliefs which, people tell us what to think, or they're cultural, if you like. And they're, the Easter bunnies and kissing under mistletoe and stuff like that. These are traditions which are passed down. But what I really wanted to address were the sort of things which people don't even recognize as being supernatural. all the sort of quirks that we have, our daily little rituals. You know, you might be a sports fan. Do you watch sports, by the way? Are you?
Well, you know, one of the things, of course, there were guys that Garrett, who was the guy that wore the same socks? Was it
Van Johnson, wasn't it? No, he wore Red Sox all the time. Yeah.
No, was it Larry Bird, the great basketball?
Larry Bird, yeah, definitely. And Jelena Dorvik was a tennis player. Getting back to panties again, I think she kept the same pair of panties on for the whole of the tournament. So you know.
Yeah, no, that you would definitely see a discharge in those panties. You know, I mean, if she wore them for the whole tournament, because those women, they're going, yeah, and you're going to when you're screaming like that, you're just you're vocalizing and you're also discharging.
Oh, great! You Americans crack me up.
And that's probably in the book.
You Americans crack you. What are you talking about? Now look. Now here's a crazy one. I love to pick up money if I see money on the ground.
Yeah.
You know, and there's no denomination that I won't pick up. So pennies or anything, but I will not pick up a coin unless it's heads.
Yep.
And I will see a penny on the ground. I'll stop dead in the middle of walk around New York, and I take it and I flip it. Now, you know how nuts I must look? I keep flipping it, and sometimes it takes 5 or 6 flips, and when it's a head, I pick it up. I don't know why that is. I don't know if anyone, maybe when I was a kid, someone said never pick up a coin,
I reckon that would have been, I mean, that's so common. I reckon that's one that's definitely passed along through children sharing that idea. John McCain has, he used to carry around a quarter, a dime, a nickel, and a penny. So he had 31 super cents. But it didn't actually add up to anything for him because obviously he didn't get into power. But
he was also told to stay out of the sun. And
sorry, say again?
He was also told to stay out of the sun, and he didn't. So.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter where you are in society. You could be a presidential candidate, or you can kind of be the lowly guy on the street. But we all have these kind of little rituals and superstitions. Some of them are passed on from what people tell us to think. But the book really deals with some of the stuff that we just come up with as children in our own minds. And that's
Bruce, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
I'm a stair counter. So I don't know what that means. Like when I go upstairs, I count them all the time.
Oh dear, you've got problems.
So I go okay, and then I'll take a guess. I'll go. I think those are 8 steps, and I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. I go 9. Right. Oh, I was so close.
Oh right, okay, yeah. So you like to put order in your world. You like to have some control, and that's one of the reasons that we do develop these things is that we like to be able to sort of seek out structure and patterns in the world. And that's what our brains do. We can't stop ourselves doing it. I mean, when it tips into becoming like an OCD situation where you can't leave a room because of your fear of contamination, that's when you've got real problems. But
I have one of those kids at home.
Oh, really?
Yeah, oh yeah. He can't touch a doorknob.
Okay,
he's got all these things. Yeah,
that's kind of serious, actually. That's nothing to be joked about.
Hey, you know what? I'll handle my family. You don't need to tell me whether it's serious or not.
Yeah, how dare you?
What are you
come
coming
into
on
our
here?
Country and start disciplining Thomas's kids?
When our kid, when he won't touch the doorknob, and I don't know what a doctor would say, but I go like this: "Hey, stupid, get the doorknob and get out." So that's how I'm handling it, and I'd rather you not tell me.
Okay.
Some. Mumbo jumbo
that
from
kid
your
is very, very good.
Super sense.
He goes into his room and he gets private with himself. He's not afraid to touch himself.
No, he is.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Oh my God, there are germs on it. Yeah. So here's the sick thing: he wants to masturbate, but he doesn't want to touch himself because there's germs.
Yeah. Well, just have a night.
Sit down with that one night and try and figure it out.
When you masturbate, do you get on top? That's sick.
Bruce,
get private.
Bruce Hood, Super Sense. Now, Wade Boggs, the great baseball player, would eat like the chicken dinner before every Red Sox game.
That's right.
Barack Obama played, basketball the morning of his victory in Iowa, so he kept playing it and stuff like that. Has anybody ever proven that the thing they do helped them succeed?
Yeah, well, believe it or not, there are studies that show that if you stop the people doing their rituals, they don't do as well because they feel they've lost their control. So they've lost their
if you quit counting steps.
Yeah. So it's it's kind of.
Or if I quit picking the coins up.
Right? I stepped on a crack, and my mother's back is broken.
Yep, that's right. I mean,
she's laid up now for the last couple of years.
John McEnroe will never step on the white lines in between sets or something, right? Remember that?
That's correct, yeah.
So you
Tiger Woods always wears a red shirt on Sunday when he's playing, if you noticed.
Oh, he does?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And like Van Johnson always wore red socks.
Stan Johnson.
Yeah. I don't know.
No
what
one even
that
knows who that is. Van
No, I don't.
Johnson.
I'm just nodding along.
He was like one of our great actors.
Before we let you go, your book is just tells all these things, and then if people do these things at the end of the book, does it tell people like why you count steps, or why certain people like turn their wheels a certain way when they park, or they won't get out of the car unless a certain thing? Can you help people with these problems?
They're not really problems. They just explains why we do them. And, I think it's full of funny stories that you're going to have a great time reading about them. And then if you go to a dinner party, you can really gross people out with some stuff. So it's really accessible. I think people will really enjoy it.
All right, thank you. Super Sense, Bruce Inwood. All right, thanks.
Cheers.
Why didn't we hear some of the gross stories from the party? That'd fit right in with the last hour of the show. You know.
Tickety-boo, Bob's your uncle, chip, chip, carry on. Step on your crack. Break your mother's back. Chip, chip, carry on. Bob's your uncle. Ding, 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 boom, boom, boom.
You Americans.
Crazy Americans.
Crazy Americans.
Why don't you cane me? What about getting caned? Sticking a cane up your ass. How about that? You ever do that? If you never did that, did you, Mr. Dusty?
The start of the 2009 baseball season is underway. And we're talking baseball 24/7 on MLB Home Plate with insight from expert hosts like Cal and Billy Ripken, Rob Dibble, Buck Martinez, Jim Duquette, and Kevin Kennedy. It's the best MLB talk on radio. MLB Home Plate, Sirius Channel 210, the most comprehensive year-round Major League Baseball coverage on radio.
This is Mark Thompson of Make It Plain on Sirius Left 146, and I extend a special invitation to all of you to join me Monday through Friday, 5 to 8 Eastern, 2 to 5 Pacific on Sirius Left 146 for Make It Plain. We cover all of the hot political topics of the day, and we try to do so in the words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. We try to make it plain. So don't miss us every day, 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific on Sirius Left 146, the best radio on radio, Sirius XM.
Joe Matthew from POTUS, Politics of the United States for the people of the United States. We built this channel, Sirius 110 XM 130, because there's nothing like it anywhere else in radio, providing unbiased, balanced political news and talk without all the baggage and predictability that comes with most broadcast news and definitely talk radio. For news you care about, smart talk, and unfiltered coverage of live news events. It's POTUS, Sirius 110 XM 130.
There's no question that a single instrument can sound beautiful, but place it among different yet equally beautiful ones, and the result can be magical. It's like the harmonies created in a diverse neighborhood where folks from different religious, racial, and cultural backgrounds all lend their own unique tone to the community voice. To better understand the benefits of diversity, log on to www.aricherlife.org. A message brought to you by the National Fair Housing Alliance in celebration of the 40th anniversary of the Fair Housing Act.
April 15th is right around the corner. But at H&R Block, there's still time to get people who find
$1,123 my old tax guy missed.
$998 I missed.
$5,781.
An extra $837 in missed deductions.
I just can't afford to take chances. I've got people.
Last year, H&R Block found errors on 4 out of 5 returns prepared by others. So don't take chances this year. It's not too late to get people. Call 1-800-HR-BLOCK or visit hrblock.com today. Individual results may vary. Additional fees may apply.
This is Howell and Joe Johnson, and you're listening to the Midnight Train. All right, now let's take a call. Line 3, you're on the air.
Hey, Hal and Joe. Love the show.
Oh, what's got you down, my man?
It's my girlfriend. She's making me choose between her and my van.
Oh, tough decision. Why don't you go ahead and describe her for me?
Oh, she's the best. Heated front seats, power sliding doors, satellite navy.
Nice.
Plus, she's surprisingly efficient.
Sounds like quite a catch.
Respect the van. The Odyssey Touring from Honda.
Hi, this is Joe Perry and Steven Tyler of Aerosmith for Red. You know, it's okay to rock and roll and party down. Just don't get in that 2,000-pound bullet when you're done and cocked. And please don't drink and drive. I'm the one that jaded you.
A reminder that friends don't let friends drive drunk. A public service message brought to you by the Ad Council, U.S. Department of Transportation, National Association of Broadcasters, and RAD.
One of the few times we are aware of movement is when it suddenly stops. Multiple sclerosis stops people from moving. We exist to make sure it doesn't. With the help of people like you, the National MS Society addresses the challenges of each person whose life is affected by MS and helps them stay connected to the great big moving world. Join the movement at nationalmssociety.org.
The Jay Thomas Show. For idiots, by idiots. Non-stop idiot action. It's the new afternoon show on Stars 2. Jay Thomas on Sirius 108 and XM 139.
Stars 2. What an idiot guest I just had on. I thought the guy was going to tell us about superstitions, and then he goes, oh, at a party you could say these gross things. Why did he tell us some of those gross things?
Yeah, meanwhile, we're talking about vaginal discharging, and he's going, oh, that's gross.
Then he brings it up.
Disgusting Americans.
Kevin Meaney is in the ha-ha seat today. You have a MySpace or a website? Or
no, I have a Facebook. I have a website, kevinmeaney.com, but I love my Facebook. Mm-hmm. I'll poke you.
You poke me every now and again?
I'll poke you, yeah. I will poke you.
Then that just means you're, talking to me.
Yeah, no, I'm poking you. I'm not. It's not sexual. Mm-hmm. It's not, there I am in my home naked in front of my webcam poking you with my camera, naked. It's just
but
I
that's
press
a term
a button.
you use.
It's a term you use. You poke somebody.
I got poked by Kevin today. I would walk into the house and they go, what happened? I got poked by Kevin.
That was the only sex I was actually having with my ex-wife. I would poke her on Facebook,
So find out all about it. And you know what, Sean? You say you didn't set up my Facebook, and Rodney Lee Conover says he didn't set it up, but somebody set it up, and Kevin went on and looked today and everything else.
Yeah, I asked to be Jay's friend.
Yes.
And a picture of Jay, but it could be anybody. It could not be, but you were a friend of his also.
Yeah, I don't know who set that up. I think Rodney set it up so he could capitalize on your name to promote himself.
Because Jay only has 28 friends.
I know.
Right.
So that's I have over 1,500.
I know.
Right.
So I'm very.
Well, I'm going to get into
popular.
it now.
That's big.
I'm big. And then I noticed that a lot of the Jay Thomases are not. There's mostly black guys are named Jay Thomas.
We say African American.
But it set me apart. So when I went on there and looked, I thought, well, hell, this sets me apart. This is a way to really get, noticed now,
Well, you should, you should. You can start poking people, too. You can poke my ex-wife.
I will. Jack of Toronto. Thanks for calling us here. Kevin Meaney is here, the Jay Thomas Show. Hi, Jack.
Hey, Jay, how you doing today?
Good, thank you.
Your guest, was it Kevin in the ha-ha seat?
Kevin Meaney, yes.
You're acting like a little girl there, Jay. You're laughing like crazy at everything he says.
I like Kevin. Kevin makes me laugh.
You sound like Robin Quivers almost.
Well, that's a good thing, isn't it?
Thank you.
You know what? You give me a compliment. I mean, you're talking about a woman that's made more money than you'll ever make in your lifetime in a year, and then what am I supposed to think that's a bad? He makes me laugh. I like him. His voice. You don't know him, so it'll take. You should sit a little longer. Maybe you'll laugh too. How about that? You give the guy 1 hour and you call up with the insight.
Well, I got to go back on the Howard 100 and listen to Howard listen to the replay again.
Yeah. Well, you know what? You're banned from this show. Ban him. He's banned from this show.
Did I get you this time, Jay?
Cut that bitch off!
There you go. It's complete. That's the other Jay Thomas, by the way, from MySpace. He does. Don't laugh at me. You see, the gal hated.
Oh, I thought that was funny. Now that's funny.
Thank you, Jess, Austin.
This guy's
Texas.
angry about something.
You know what? There's a whole group of individuals. Who are just angry, and they love calling up, and you're angry back at them, and it makes their day. It's a strange. I should write a book about that.
I bet that guy goes into the malls and poops in the planters.
He's one of those.
He's a planter. He's a poop planter.
Yeah, you're a mall pooper.
Mall pooper.
You're a mall pooper.
We're gonna catch you, pal.
Jess, how are you? Jess of Austin.
Hey, Jay, good. Hey, I've got a question for you, but I got a quick question for Kevin before I ask you your question. Kevin, did you do a bit a long time ago about going into Jack in the Box and Jack sauce and the guy makes it in the back, that type of thing?
Yes, I did.
Oh, okay.
I still do that bit. Okay, that's how old I say. I went into Jack in the Box the other day, ordered myself a hamburger. The woman behind the counter asked me if I wanted any Jack sauce on it. I said, Jack sauce? Exactly what is the Jack sauce, ma'am? And she tells me it's secret, and I said, you can hold that Jack sauce. Thank you very much.
Hey, Jack of Toronto.
Then my mother would say...
This. Hold on one second.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Then my mother would say, don't be making the Jack sauce. God, that's why you're losing your eyesight.
There you go.
That's the whole bit.
Why did you let that guy get away with not saying a damn thing about his book?
I'm sorry. Maybe it was my fault, but I thought he would come on, and I asked him about some superstitions, and I went in the wrong direction right off the bat.
No, you did not go in the wrong direction. You talked to him. All the talking points were there. Wade Boggs. You mentioned him with the chicken.
Yeah.
Okay? You mentioned...
that's all in his book.
Knock
That's all in his
on
book.
wood, okay?
Yeah, all of that.
Step on a crack, break your mother's back.
That's in the book.
In the book.
I had all the talk.
I got more information from you and Kevin than I did that asshole.
I don't know what his deal was. You know, people write these books. They look interesting. Their publicist or their publisher calls us, and the person that tells you about the person is more interesting than when the person comes on, because you know what it's like? It's like when a comic comes on the show and isn't funny, Kevin. I mean, that's happened to me.
Yeah.
They're going to appear at Gotham or whatever. The only thing I can figure is that they don't want to give away their jokes because they're afraid that they'll have to write a new one. I don't know.
But on the cover of this book that he wrote is a picture of a black cat's ass.
That's right.
You know, that's what it is. There's a tail with the two hind legs, and you would think that this is what the book is about, superstitions.
Right.
It's Art Sears book.
No, I mean, I tell them who to book.
I'm definitely going to buy the book. Oprah thinks it's great.
Yeah, of course. Oprah loved it. Everybody loves it, you know.
I love Super Sense. That's my
all right,
Oprah
thank
impression.
you. Thank you, Jess, very much. Thank you. Kevin, were you raised Catholic?
Yes. I'm very Catholic. Yes.
Barack Obama is going to speak at Notre Dame, and I've mentioned this before, and they're saying that he should not speak, and the priests have gotten together now.
Yeah. Do you know most priests are homosexual?
Well, no, that's...
Most priests, I would say, 99.9% of Catholic priests are homosexuals.
Now, that's a pretty huge...
That is the truth. No, ask my boyfriend. No, he knows. He went to Catholic school.
Now...
No, but they are. And if you want to disprove me, take a lie detector test, all right? And you put it on a priest, go to Cardinal Egan, go to the Pope, and say, have you ever fantasized about another man in your robes? And that lie detector test is going to prove to you that priest is gay.
Well, when
Okay?
this
True.
thing, now I know, and it sounds like you're telling the truth, but I'll tell you something. And I went to Catholic school. I went to a great high school that I loved.
Were you ever molested as a...
Never touched or anything, but we kind of knew the priests that were effeminate or whatever. There was a lot of alcoholism and stuff, but the school was fantastic. I got a great education, and no, we've never had a scandal at my school, Jesuit, in New Orleans. And if they weren't homosexuals or gay or whatever, they certainly, it takes a different guy to decide to be, a sexless male.
That
right?
would be a gay man.
Is that...
Yeah.
But
it's like, okay, they're going to suppress being gay, and they're going to go into the priesthood, and they're not going to sin. They're not going to commit a sin by being with another man. But they are sinning if they're thinking about it.
Right.
And they're thinking about it constantly.
So you want to give all priests a lie detector test?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I want to give every priest in America, and I'd like to administer those tests myself.
You would do it yourself?
I've had a lie detector test administered to me.
No, you haven't.
Yes, I have.
For what?
When I was arrested in San Francisco for allegedly grabbing the M16 away from the National Guardsmen after 9/11, and this is before I came out, and I was nervous that they were going to ask me if I was gay, and that's why I was such a wreck you know, and
now what brought? Now you were there, and you had your little girl with you, and
yes.
you had your wife was with you at the time.
Yes, my wife she travels with all her metal. So she goes, let me see, we're going to the airport today. Let me wear everything that's metal to go to the airport. So she had like metal, just metal, like metal sleeves and metal pants and her metal shoes, and you know, she never wore braces, but got them right before we got to the airport. You know, and she had she pretended she had polio and put the metal braces on. You know, and just walked through the airport, and she was pulled over, you know. And
why didn't you just let her deal with the security person and just stand away?
I did stand away. I said, Kate, look at Mommy. She's being searched. Isn't that fun? Let's take the camera out and film her and show the rest of the family how insane she is.
Oh, you did that. You took a camera out.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I took the camera out, and I'm the reason why you're not allowed to film at the airport. They never had that sign up until after I was arrested and put in jail and given a cavity search. Now,
hold it one second.
Which I didn't mind.
You, now, I don't know the whole, we've talked about it, and I think at one time you rather not talk about it. I'm glad you're talking about it now, but, so were you really videoing it to show your family?
Yes.
Or did you say something, because this is what they said at the airport, that you were videoing it to, like, show it to the authorities or put it out, I don't know if there was YouTube at the time or whatever. Yeah. Did you say anything while you were doing it? I'm going to show the injustice of all of this? Or something?
No, God, no. I'm not that.
You
bright.
really didn't do that?
No, I'm not that bright. It's not like I was. Let me show this to the world. Right. It was to show to the family that this is who I travel with. This is why we shouldn't travel together. Maybe, you know, because we were both. You know. She wears her medal, and. You know, she got stopped, and she had her arms extended, and they were taking the wand, going back and forth, and she was, like, going, look at this, I can't believe it, I'm being searched, just because I wear all my metal. And I said, Kate, look at that, look at Mommy's being searched, let's film it. So I took out the camera, and I was, like, 20 feet away, and then the National Guardsman comes over and goes, you're not allowed to film here. The secured area, let me see what's on that video. So I gave it to him, and I showed it to him, and...
You really did.
Yeah. And
you did not, at this point even, because I remember reading about this in the paper. And
the paper got it. They blew this story up.
Yes, they
like
did.
I was a terrorist. They had me look like, they had me say that when I was grilled by the FBI, the FBI asked me about this. They said, would you mind talking to the FBI? I was in the airport jail at this point, which insanely, I had given my ex-wife, my wife at the time, had given me a camera watch, okay? Because I'm like, I love these little gadgets. So now I'm in the jail cell, handcuffed, but one arm free. And I'm taking pictures in the cell with my camera watch.
So they thought you were...
And then I'm going, what am I doing? Why am I taking pictures while I'm in... They're going to think I'm a terrorist, So I stopped taking pictures, and then they finally took my watch away. They didn't even know it was like a camera watch, because I actually put some of those pictures up online afterwards.
Oh my God.
Here I am in the cell taking pictures of the people that are detaining me, And, I did this after I was cleared of everything, because I was never charged. They just arrested me.
Well, they made it sound like that either you or your wife or somebody was being searched, and you took offense. And we weren't used to this at that time. There were guys with machine guns, and you were saying things to them. Then you videotaped them, and you got, pissed off. And that's kind of what I figured happened. And then once you got rolling... they tried to stop you, and you grabbed the barrel of an M16. That's what the report was. Is that true?
No. My daughter, she was, once they asked me to, they said, you're going to have to stay right here. My daughter was right next to me. And the National Guardsman was in front of me with his M16 across his chest. And he says, I'm going to...
Garrett, hold on a second. Garrett, Google Kevin Meaney.
Go ahead, Google that.
You know what? I want to hear Garrett read the report.
Because it will never mention that I had a 2-year-old with me.
All right, okay. Google Kevin Meaney is arrested at the airport. Go ahead, Kevin. Let me hear the story.
So they, the National Guardsman was in front of me. My daughter decides, she's 2 years old, to get out of here. She starts to run away. But not towards her mother, but towards the exit. So I asked the National Guardsman, I have to get my daughter. He goes, "You're going nowhere." I said, "No, I have to get her." He goes, "I said you're going nowhere." So I went left, I went right, left, right, got around him, grabbed my daughter, and pulled her back to where we were standing. And at that point, he pointed the gun at us, and that's when I said, "Get that gun away from us! What are you, crazy?" And that voice, never tell somebody that's pointing a gun at you that they're crazy. You know, that's the tip. That's what I learned from that. So that was horrible. What happened? You know, it really was. It was a total injustice. I had never grabbed the gun. I've never even shot a gun before. But they made me sound like I grabbed the gun because the FBI said to me, "Now, when you grabbed the gun, why did you say double down?" And I go, "Well, I don't even gamble. I don't know what double down means, you know." And they had me sound like I had the gun over my head. I'm looking at everybody in the airport going, "Double down!"
Did you yell double
down? No, I never yelled double down. No. But the FBI told me I said that.
All right, hold on. Garrett, do you have what was in the paper? Because, I knew Kevin, and then I read this story, and I mean this. I thought that his career is not going well, there's tension in his life, and he's lost his mind, because that's what it made it sound like. And I read that in the L.A. Times, and then, do you have it, Garrett? Can you read it?
It was no laughing matter at SFO Airport when comedian Kevin Meaney was arrested for scuffling with a National Guardsman and grabbing his loaded M16 rifle.
And would you read slowly, please?
Meaney?
No, not that slow, but you just said scuffling. That was a big... God forbid. Sometimes I want you to be a part of the show, but you just run right through it.
Well, it's a cold reading, Jay. I mean, this is a...
Well, you know what, Kevin? Stay out of it. I'm going to teach him something.
All right, go ahead.
You're going to be in here.
Take two.
So when you got the scuffling and everything, that's exactly right. When you get the scuffling or whatever, you got to play it up. That's what we're talking about. All right, try it again.
Sunday, after he got into a confrontation with Guardsman Joseph Galvin,
go back to the scuffling. Start from the top.
I hope people buy my CD because they're listening to this.
Go back to the top.
It was no laughing matter at SFO International Airport when comedian Kevin Meaney was arrested for scuffling with National Guardsmen and grabbing his loaded M16 rifle.
Stop right there. That's what I read. Thank you very much. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. You see, after you help somebody, then you have a child. You give them a good... So there you go. That's what I read. Okay, keep reading. Let me hear the rest.
Meaney, 45, of North Hollywood, was arrested Sunday after...
Toluca Lake, by the way. It was Toluca Lake I lived in, North Hollywood. Okay. Go ahead, please.
He got into a confrontation with Guardsman Joseph Galvin after he was twice told to stop filming security operations with his personal video camera.
Wow.
Since the September blah, 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 it isn't funny at all, Sergeant Larry Ratty of the San Francisco Police.
Sergeant Larry Ratty.
It scared most of the screeners. This is the first incident we've had of this type where people have been this disruptive.
Wow.
Meaney, traveling with his wife and daughter, became...
Wait a minute. Stop right there. So, Kevin, you said your daughter's name was not mentioned, so at least at this point, I can give props to the reporter. Or
okay. Well, maybe what is that? Reuters, or is that
San Francisco Chronicle?
Chronicle. Yeah. Well, they got it right. The Chronicle. They got that part right.
Did you announce to them you were coming out?
No. I said to myself, this isn't a good time to come out. There were so many times that I wanted to come out, but I would say, like I would say, well, maybe this isn't the good time. I better not come out today. And then finally, but I thought I was going to be outed after this, just because they were going to.
Why?
Because I was going to take the lie detector test.
Well, they're not going to ask you anything
I
about
didn't know
your
what they were going to ask me. I thought they were going to see if they, let's see if we ask him if he's gay.
They're not going to do that.
I know that.
It's because it was in your head. Sure.
Yes, it's in your mental head.
It would be like this. Now, Jay, just out of the middle. By the way, I know you grabbed the gun and have you ever smoked marijuana? Just like that. They would just yell it, right?
Yes.
You ever done cocaine in a suppository form? And I'd have to go, well, once, they told me it would get in your system faster.
Yeah.
Okay. So now and I'll have you read again, Garrett. By the way, Garrett, I'm sorry that I have to be hard on you. It's the only way you can learn.
Understood.
Thank you. You know, it's the same way I treat my cats. So, Kevin, did they search you? Did they take your clothes off?
Oh, yes, they did, yes.
Now, how do they do that? They say, we think you might have something in your ass?
Yeah, so what they do, once you get booked into county jail, so I was in 2 jails. I went to the airport jail, which is really not, it's just like a little holding room where they actually handcuff you to a railing, you know, with one arm, you know, so you have one arm free to photograph things with your camera watch. You know, which, halfway through my photography session, I was going, oh, my God, they really are going to think that I'm insane and I'm trying to, compromise security at the airport.
I hate to interrupt you, but where were you flying to?
Back home to L.A. I had just finished a show the night before with Merv Griffin, Ronnie Shell, what's the other guy? You know, the magician. He was a crazy magician that smokes pot all the time. Old
Kreskin?
guy. No, not Kreskin.
The great
old
Ballantyne?
guy. Yes, Carl Ballantyne.
Carl Ballantyne.
Yes,
right.
yes, Carl Ballantyne. And a few other people, were on the bill. Brett Butler was there that night, but she wasn't drinking, but... So there was a bunch of people that had done this benefit for San Francisco State University, and they invited me up, and they flew my wife up and my daughter. And
wonderful time.
It was a wonderful time, yeah. And
so you weren't in a bad mood or anything?
No. So we came back the next morning, and we go through security, and I get through, and then... my wife, who wears all the metal, she comes through, Okay. Said, okay, let me bring my metal with me to San Francisco.
Now, they tell you, take your clothes off, we're going to strip search
So
you?
now when you get booked into county jail, you have to, they have to give you a strip search before you go into your cell. So you stand on one side of the room, and the guard will say, give me your shirt. So you take off your shirt. He goes, and throw it on the floor, and he grabs it and goes through everything in your shirt, your pockets.
Now, were you thinking about coming out at this moment just because?
No, I didn't.
Kind of hot? Was it kind of hot?
No, it was kind of degrading.
Oh,
it wasn't. It wasn't a turn on for me. And so, except to finally when you get naked, so you throw everything over. You throw your shirt, your T-shirt, your pants, your socks one at a time. Now you're down to your underpants, and they said, take off your underpants. Right? So you go, okay. So you take them off, throw them over here. So he goes through them with a glove, like looking for anything that you might have in your underpants, right? So now he goes,
you're naked.
So now you're just standing there naked. He goes, then he goes, lift up your ball sack. So I go, excuse me? I wasn't raised this way.
Oh,
you've never said ball sack in my family. You wouldn't say, like, lift up your ball sack. It's like, like there would be your testicles, right? It would be like, there would lift up your testicles, sir. You think that would be the proper terminology, a doctor would say. The doctor wouldn't say, excuse me, lift up your ball sack. It wouldn't be, I'm not saying that these guards are doctors, but they would have to, I would think that they wouldn't say, they would say penis opposed to, your dick, You would think, right? So then, the most degrading part of that, so you lift up your ball sack. And I did challenge him on that, and I said, excuse me, but I did lift it up.
But you knew what he meant.
Yes, of course I did, but, so then he goes, bend over, spread your cheeks and cough. And so
was he expecting something to fly out of you?
Well, something did. And I had been baking a potato in my ass for 48 hours. That's how long it takes to bake a potato in your ass. I'm an ass baker, and I've been for many, many years, And you don't start off with a Idaho. Start off with a red potato or... or like a baby potato.
Fingerling.
No, but the small, you have to get the names of the small ones, because, God. Oh, my God. So.
You sound like Robin Quivers laughing like a little girl.
Oh, man. Oh, man. When I hear ass potato, I got to laugh. I'm sorry.
So then I'm in the jail with 3 of my jail buddies. I'll never forget them. There's Mr. Palmer, Johnny Patosh, and Fuki. And Fuki was arrested for, they found cocaine in my car. It wasn't even a line! And they tore my car up looking for more! And I was crying! And I go, Fouki, I was crying too. Because the cop told me before I go into jail, he goes, because I was crying, I was crying in the
You
jail.
really did?
Yeah,
You
I
really
was
did?
like, weeping like a baby, right?
Because
they were
it's
sending me to
scary.
jail now, So,
Yeah.
so the cop goes, hey, Kevin, I got to tell you. He was a fan of mine. He goes, Kevin,
Oh, God,
he
of
goes, I
course.
got to tell you, when you get to county jail, you're going to have to be tough because, you go in there, you're going to be in the joint with other guys. So, like, if somebody looks at you, you're going to have to look them right back in the eye, and you're not going to be able to show fear. And so I looked at the cop and I go, but I can't do it. I'm a wreck. I can't go to jail. So he's hugging me, the cop, and I thought this might be a good time to come out, But, so now when I get into jail, I am like total tough guy, right? I got all the tears out of me before I get there. So Fouki was telling me that he was crying. I go, don't worry about it, Fouki. I was crying too. Don't worry about it. We're going to get through this together. Wow. And Johnny Patosh came in, and he was such a loser. And
What did he do, Patosh?
He was drunk. I was in there with some, guys. One guy was on drugs. One guy was drunk, and Mr. Palmer was like a criminal, but was freezing. And I gave him my wife got all mad at me because I gave him my cashmere sweater. I said, well, you can have this, Then you don't want it back from him because, he's a bum.
Now, did you ever get the phone call?
Yeah, oh yeah, I got the phone call. Yeah.
Well, who do you call?
Yeah, I called a friend of mine named Mike Pritchard. Do you know Mike Pritchard from San Francisco?
I don't.
Big guy. He's works with. He's a comedian, actor, voiceover guy. Saint. He's a living saint, and
you knew he would help you.
Yes, and he knows a lot of the San Francisco police, and he got me a bail bondsman, and I used a zigzag bail bondsman. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. Zigzag bail bondsman.
Wow.
And it was, I think it was a $50,000 bail.
Oh, come on.
Which is only $5,000.
Yeah, I know that, but still, that's... Wow,
maybe it was $10,000. It was only it was something like that. It was like, I remember that it was like, you would go, oh my God.
Oh, no, wait a minute. Now, you're bragging if it's 50. If it's 10, that sounds normal. So what is it?
I forget what it was, but it was something where I didn't get the money back. I know that. They keep the money.
Right, because and if you escape, they're good for the money. Then they send Robert De Niro after you to collect the money. Right.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
So that's the little story, and then
you get out and it hit the papers.
The next day, we flew back to L.A. later that night, and I got up the next morning, and I go out to my office in my little. Out there in Toluca Lake, and the next thing you know, I'm all over the news, and I'm going, oh, my God, look at this, and then the next thing, she must have been a big-breasted stripper. That must be his wife. She's probably some stripper that he married,
Was your wife a big-breasted stripper?
No, because they said that she had a wire, a wire bra on, so they go, yeah, those women that have the big breasts. This is on Fox News, Women that have wire bras, they have big breasts.
They said on Fox News that your wife must have big...
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Because, she had the wire bra on. Oh, yeah, I know those wire women that wear the wire breasts and big Madonna cups. Probably had some, wire cups on her breasts.
Oh, God.
Pointed, just, big hairdo and big metal cups on her breasts. So
now, before we'll go away for a moment, but what did this do for your relationship? Because your wife caused this.
Well, it wasn't good.
Right.
I think that was a serious part. Now, my daughter was 2, and we stayed together for another 5 fabulous years before I said, God, I can't do your laundry anymore.
Did you ever say to her during this period, you caused this? Did you ever lay it on her? Because you sound like you sound vindictive to me.
Do I?
Yeah, I mean, you have that kind of vindictive, feel to you. I don't know.
I didn't think I was coming off like that. Maybe I do.
No. I'm just imagining that as a comedian and as someone who's had all these things inside of you and everything else. I mean, I've done it too. That the vindictiveness is fueled by the fact that you were strip searched, that you were afraid you were going to have to announce that you were gay, and all these things are happening. So that when you finally got home, you vented on her.
No, I never did vent on her. No, okay. I think I was more probably passive aggressive than anything else. There you go.
Okay.
Which is. But the thing was, like a year before, I had been arrested at the airport in New York. This before 9/11. For
what?
For what did I do? I did something. We were traveling together, and I did something. I actually, how it started was I used to carry around a little identification card, and it was of a black girl, little black girl in high school or junior high. And they would ask you for your identification, and I would pull that out, and I would say, "This is my identification." And it was like a junior high school's identification card. It was a little black girl, and her name was Casey Bell, I think her name was, right? So I'd say, and the person at the desk would look at it, and they go, "Well, that's not me. That's not you." And I go, "Yes, it is." And then we'd have a big laugh, right? And they'd go, "Where did you get that?" And I would say, "I killed her."
Oh, God.
Right? And I would laugh like a lunatic, right? I thought that was really funny. And I don't know why. I just found that to be very funny. Right? So I would show them the identification. They go, "That's not you." And I'd say, "Yes, it is." And they go, "Where did you get that?" And I said, "I killed her." And then I would laugh like a lunatic, so
oh, boy. Oh, man.
So then, from that point, they took that as, I don't know, some kind of a threat or something. So the guy said, "You can't bring your bag on the plane." I said, "Well, I have to bring my bag." I said, "All my medication's in that bag. I can't travel without my medicine. My Bible's in the bag." And I'd always have crazy answers. All my Bibles are in the bag. And, my medicine, my depression medication, my high blood pressure, my cholesterol. I need to take that while I'm traveling. And this is before 9/11, so you could be a little, there was the air rage thing that was happening also around then too, and yes. I was part of that. You have to remember, I've traveled millions of miles, and I've only been arrested twice. So I think I have a pretty good goddamn track record. All right,
ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Meaney is in the ha-ha seat today. Unbelievable, and I never heard the entire story. You'll get a nice little 90-second break here. I do have to run to the bathroom, but I'll be back. And it's Sirius 108 XM 139.
Society's oddities played like a fiddle. The Jay Thomas Show, the new afternoon show on Stars 2, Sirius 108 and XM 139. The new Stars 2, Sirius 108 XM 139. Ian and Vinny, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. East, Sirius 6 West. On the Ian and Vinny replay directly after the show. Maximum Radio with Covino and Rich. Noon to 3 p.m. East, 9 a.m. to noon West. Maximum Radio with Covino and Rich. Replay from 6 till 9 p.m. East. The Jay Thomas Show. 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. East. The Jay Thomas Show. Replay from 9 till midnight Eastern. The new Stars 2. The new Stars 2. The new Stars 2. Sirius 108 and XM 139.
The sun used to make our outdoor deck so hot and uncomfortable we couldn't use it. But then we discovered the Sunsetter retractable awning.
Tell them about the discount, Harry.
Our Sunsetter retractable awning opens and closes in just 60 seconds and keeps our deck about 20 degrees cooler.
Tell them about the discount, Harry.
It provides instant shade and protection from the sun.
The discount, Harry.
And our Sunsetter cost less than $700.
Harry.
All right, but now you can call and get a special $200 discount certificate. Your Sunsetter could cost as little as $499.
Good, Harry.
Call now and Sunsetter will rush you this $200 discount certificate along with a free DVD.
Attention! All listeners whose last names begin with the letters A through N can start calling now for your free Sunsetter DVD and $200 discount certificate. 1-800-231-7911. Listeners whose last names begin with O through Z can begin calling tomorrow at 9 a.m. 1-800-231-7911. 1-800-231-7911.
Are you receiving monthly checks from a lawsuit you won? Are you having trouble paying your bills every month because the settlement money you're getting just isn't enough? Well, there is a way you can get the cash you need now in one lump sum payment. For free information to see how much cash you can get, call Peachtree Settlement Funding now at 1-800-931-7654. Find out how you can turn your future structured settlement payments into the cash you need now to get free of your credit card debt, to meet your rising mortgage payments, to pay your medical bills and other expenses. If you're receiving payments from a lawsuit, call Peachtree Settlement Funding. For your free information, call now 1-800-931-7654. You have bills piling up that need to be paid now. So why wait any longer? Get the future money you have coming to you now when you need it most. For your free information, call Peachtree Settlement Funding now at 1-800-931-7654. That's 1-800-931-7654. 1-800-931-7654.
Jay Thomas Show. Every day something new, something bizarre. For you, for now. The new afternoon show on Stars 2, Sirius 108 and XM 139.
Is this our guest singing? Oh, I thought this was our guest singing this song.
That was just Lion King.
Lion King, right, of course. Hi, the Jay Thomas Show. Kevin Meaney is here with us. And let's welcome Andrea Tabler. Is it Tabler or Tabler? How do you say it? Tabler?
Tabler, Jay.
It's Tabler. How are you, Andrea?
Yes, sir. I'm great.
It's Andrea. Andrea J.
Andrea.
Yeah.
Go to DeWitt and Tabler.com. And Andrea, you are the owner of the Highline Circle of Life Center. Now, that's it's an all-in-one kind of a place, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Exactly. You got it.
Mm-hmm. So it's now Kevin, listen to this. It's in Thornton, Colorado. What a lovely town Thornton is.
Well, it's pretty nice. It's just a little north of Denver.
Yes, I know.
I was just out in Denver. I was at the Comedy Works out there. It's a fine club.
That's a great place. It is.
Do you have a comedy club inside the Circle of Life?
No.
That would be great.
Probably could. That would be. That could be one. That's a new. I'm writing down ideas of what we can do here.
A little comedy. While you're bringing the casket through.
Now you started as a funeral director. Is that right?
Yes. Yes. Actually, my husband's the funeral director, but
does he have cold hands?
No.
Most people that I meet that deal with death always have very, very cold hands.
He's one of the warm ones.
Okay.
But he's got a cold nose.
So when you were before we get to the Highline Circle of Life Center, when you were dating DeWitt, and he said he was a funeral director, did it take a while for you to kind of warm up to that, to see that this is a man you're falling in love with, and you would spend the rest of your life with a man that was dealing with dead bodies all the time and grief and stuff?
Well, at the time when I met Larry, he
His name is Larry? His name is Larry?
Yes, Larry. He was looking for a musician, which I actually am a musician.
Mm-hmm.
And when he called, left me a message and wanted to know if I could do music for one of his funerals that he had arranged, I thought, wonder who this guy is, because I'm pretty good at recognizing voices, and I had never heard his voice before. So I did the service, and I said, sure, I'd be glad to do that. So I did the service. And after that service, he asked me, he says, well, could I talk to you after the service, because I needed to ask you something. And I thought, aha, here it comes. He's going to ask me for a date.
Mm-hmm.
So I was really excited and everything, because I thought one of these days I was going to meet somebody that I was working with at some time, or I was wondering if that would happen.
So you were attracted to him?
I was.
Yeah.
He was kind of cute.
Yeah, I'm sure he is.
One phone call, and then you're singing at the the funeral, excuse me. You're at the funeral, and he had on the black suit with the little tie and the white shirt. And is he a tall man? Is Larry a big man?
He's about 5'7", so we're about the same height. And actually, we were born in the same year, so that worked out. And one of the things that attracted me to him is he was one of the first guys that asked me to go on a date that had a job.
Well, okay. Even though it was a funeral director thing, it was...
Right. I thought, this guy has a career, he's got a job, I'm set.
Cool.
For life.
Yeah.
And I'll probably get a free funeral. So anyway, that's kind of thinking back on those beautiful memories. That was kind of went through my mind, and it seems only like yesterday.
Where were you and Larry married?
In a funeral home back in Omaha, Nebraska.
So here you are. You fall in love. Now I thought maybe you're doing this for these economic times, But how long have you been married to Larry?
This month, the end of this month, we're going to be married for 20 years.
All right, 20 years. Now, was it fun to be married in a funeral home, or did you do it as why would you do that 20 years ago?
Because it was we didn't have to pay for it.
So it was free.
Free of charge, yes.
So everybody came to the funeral home, and you just had it like there in the chapel where you'd normally be burying people and stuff?
So instead of a casket, there were the husband and wife there.
That's right.
But with no casket. Did you use any of the flowers from the previous funerals?
No, we didn't. There hadn't been anything going on that day, so there wasn't anything, except we probably would have if there was.
Yeah.
I don't know. But anyway, I was calling people that morning and said, Larry and I decided we're going to get married, and actually we're going to get married this evening, and we're going to have the wedding, in the chapel. It was a beautiful old building, though. It looked like a great big old Southern mansion.
Did you have to put the hearses in the back? I would not want to walk into a wedding, and there were a couple of hearses parked there, even though they weren't in use at the time. Did you hide the hearses somewhere?
Well, the way this building was set up, there was a big underground drive-in garage, and that's where all the cars were stored. So really, there wasn't anything out.
Didn't see anything.
There were no caskets there. Or?
No.
So there was no formaldehyde. Down there.
No odor of that, or
No.
Okay. So now this Highline Circle of Life Center, it is a wedding chapel, it is a funeral home, it's a crematorium, and it's an embalming facility.
Yes, it is.
And so, have you always been this way, or is this an economic thing you've decided to do?
I think we did decide to do this because we thought that maybe people might want to have a facility where they could have everything at the same place.
Now, Kevin, would you get married at a funeral home, crematorium, embalming facility?
I think that would have been appropriate for to get married. I think that's a great. I think maybe even for a bris, to.
Your wedding was kind of a death sentence, wasn't it?
Yeah. It didn't work out. I mean, it's worked out for 10 years, so I got 10 good years.
10 years out of it, right.
But I've always been fascinated with, funerals, and, my first funeral, was my Uncle James. And, just going up there and seeing that dead body, and, when you're like 7 or 8 years old, it kind of freaks you out. And then I had this, when I was like 14 years old, I had worked at this country club, and the bartender says, if you're a pervert and you die, they'll know that you're a pervert because when you die, you'll have an erection.
Have you ever heard that, Andrea?
That if
you're a pervert?
If,
No, I haven't.
Isn't that a terrible thing
to
say?
They said that to me. They said, I guess they referred to me as a pervert.
I guess so.
And they go, when you die, everybody will know you're a pervert because you'll have an erection.
Oh, my.
And I was like, what? My God, what if I die and I have a boner? They're going to know I'm a pervert. So, is that true? Can you ask Larry?
I don't have anything to
call him up.
With.
See if there's any boners down there in the embalming room.
No, Andrea.
I'm sorry, Andrea.
By the way,
I feel sick and mental right now.
This man was once strip searched by the FBI, so we're dealing with a not a well man anyway.
I had a potato in my ass. But,
now
Larry ever found a potato in any of the corpses' asses?
Now here's the
I'm sorry.
Here's the question.
I'm going too far. Andrea, you're a very, very lovely woman. Okay, go ahead and conduct the interview.
I have to tell you, I've done a lot of interviews, and he's not our normal co-host, Andrea, so let me apologize.
I'm in the ha-ha seat.
Yeah. Now
she's laughing like Robin Quivers.
Oh
now
my
listen,
goodness.
Andrea.
Well, we do have a big sense of humor around here.
Well, you have to have a sense of humor.
We do.
God,
get
look
people
at that corpse
coming in. Yeah, getting in there. Now, have you? Here's a crazy one. Have you married somebody and then, like, maybe within a 6-month period, you ended up burying one of the people? So they would have been married at the funeral home, and then 6 months later, one of them drops dead or whatever the deal is. I mean, that's got to be odd.
We haven't.
Do you get
we haven't been open that long. We've only been open since November.
So this is a brand new venture you're doing.
Yeah. That's it. That is correct.
Oh, that's
okay.
Great.
How many weddings have you had since November?
We actually have had 3 weddings.
Oh,
wow, that's good.
That's nice.
That's good.
It's wonderful.
I bet on Halloween you've had a couple of weddings there.
I think that's going to be a big day.
Yeah, that's going to be a big day.
It is.
In this crazy economy, you've got to think outside of the box.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yes. Yeah.
Andrea Tabler and her husband Larry. Go to DeWittandTabler.com, and if you live in the Denver area, in Thornton, Colorado, the Circle of Life, it's the Highline Circle of Life Center, where you can get married. There's a funeral home, there's a crematorium, and an embalming facility right there. And it sounds like it's a lot of fun.
How hot does it get into the crematorium?
1,600 degrees.
16. Now, do you cook anything in there? Or?
No.
No. So you wouldn't like throw something in there to heat it up, like a.
No, I think it would be incinerated,
like a hot pocket. You know?
We would, yeah.
Do you still sing at the funerals and the weddings? Are you still the entertainment?
I do. You know, we're able to offer that to folks because sometimes people don't know who to call on, and we say,
Sure.
okay, we got the person right here for you if you want to use their facility.
What's the craziest song you've ever sung at a funeral?
Actually, it was the Darktown Strutters Ball.
How does that go?
It's and I thought, that's what I thought when I got asked.
Right.
But you've heard it before. It's when you'll be down to get me in a taxi, honey.
You'll be down.
Could you sing just a little? Because Kevin's a Broadway star.
I'll be down.
He was in Hairspray.
In a taxi, honey. La da 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 da. That's the one.
You sang that at a funeral?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. Were you smiling and having the time of your life?
I was. It was for one of the old musicians back in Omaha.
Yeah. A little baby died or something? No. That would be horrible. A little baby funeral.
Well, yeah.
You'll be down. A little baby's dead. Hoo hoo.
God.
No, that's crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know.
Andrea,
that's sick.
Andrea,
you ever see the baby coffins? They're little tiny coffins, little boxes.
Oh, they are. Yes, sir.
Sick. Yeah.
Is this Jay?
Yeah. Well, it is Jay, but my co-host has just gone way, way over the top.
I'm in the ha-ha seat. I'm cuckoo.
Yeah. Just been.
Yeah. We're all fascinated with funerals.
This is not the normal type of show.
Well, you know, every time we go somewhere, my husband, people find out what he does for his career. He's like the center of attention.
Oh, I bet.
What sort of questions do they ask him? I ask you, one, was it odd for you to date him? But when he's the center of attention, what would they ask him about being a funeral director?
Oh, they just get into a lot of, they want to know all the details.
Yeah, the boners and stuff like that.
Yeah, they
right?
just, I think they feel safe when they know that they're talking about somebody's career. And I think it's a safe feeling because they know that it's not actually happening right at that moment, but it gives them a chance to ask the questions they've always wanted to know.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's one. If you get somebody really huge, can they not fit in the crematorium door?
That is possible. Yeah. That is possible.
And do you have to
say it? Cut them up.
Chop them up and throw them in there?
Well, that's kind of a difficult subject because we have had to deal with that type of situation, and I don't know.
Funny,
it's one
Andrea.
of the things I probably don't want to get into at the moment.
Well, no, it's okay. I mean, because you need to cremate them, and so we just. Does that sound ever come? Have you ever been in the? By the way, do you live right next to the Highline Circle of Life Center? And
I bet they live upstairs.
You
Well,
live there?
I wanted to, but the city wouldn't let us build our residence up here, so we live about 3 minutes from here.
Okay.
So we're on call all the time.
Yeah.
But Larry says it better be a good reason if they call him at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Because he's dead asleep. I know. All right.
Ew.
Andrea, owner of Highline Circle of Life Center.
I'm coming
Thornton,
out there.
Colorado, absolutely. You get married, and you ought to start giving a certificate that if you get married there, that later on in life, you get some sort of a deal if you decide to get buried there also.
That's right. We've decided to do that because we've had several requests.
Yeah.
Good. Well, you have been a delightful guest, and thank you very much.
You guys are great.
You are
Thank
fantastic.
you so much.
What a wonderful person. And you asked Larry about the erection thing, and give our executive producer Sean Kelly a call back.
Or email me at kevinmeaney.com. You know, all the kids go there.
Okay. All right?
Thanks.
Andrea, thank you so much. It's the Jay Thomas Show with Kevin Meaney, Sirius 108 XM 139.
Jay Thomas. Show. The afternoon drive show on the new Stars 2. Sirius 108 and XM 139. The new Stars 2. Sirius 108 XM 139. Infinity. 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. East. 3 to 6 West. Maxim Radio with Covino and Rich. Maxim Radio. Noon to 3 p.m. East. 9 a.m. to noon West. The Jay Thomas Show. 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. East. Noon to 3 West. All shows replayed throughout the day. New Stars 2. The new Stars 2. Sirius 108 and XM 139.
Healthcare warning. National Health Plan sets daily limits. Uninsured Americans are urged to call now for immediate acceptance and a free 30-day trial. If you're among the 47 million uninsured, you are risking your health. The New York Times, Harvard, and the American Cancer Society state having no insurance leads to poor health and lack of early detection of potentially fatal conditions. Don't let the high cost of insurance prevent you from having quality health care. Limited registration is open for a low-cost health plan. All are accepted regardless of age, medical condition, income, or residency. Call now for a 30-day free trial. Save 10 to 60% on doctors, hospitals, prescriptions, and more. Only 650 registrations will be accepted daily, so call now. Call 800-917-8401. Start protecting your family. Call now for details. There's no obligation. Call 800-917-8401. That's 800-917-8401.
Looking to make some cash on unwanted jewelry? Turn to Cash for Gold. That's cash, the number 4, gold. To turn that unwanted gold, silver, and platinum jewelry into cold hard cash. Cash for Gold is a direct refiner of precious metals, which means there's no middleman and you collect more money. Cash for Gold is America's #1 gold buyer with millions of dollars paid out to thousands of satisfied customers. The process is easy. Request a refiner's return pack. Place your unwanted gold or jewelry in the pack. Send back to Cash for Gold, and they'll send cash within 24 hours of receipt at their facility. The refiner's return pack is absolutely free and insured. Call 1-800-935-4779 or go to cashforgold.com. That's cash, the number 4, gold.com. For the highest payouts on your unwanted gold, silver, or platinum, call now. That's 1-800-935-4779 or cashforgold.com.
The Jay Thomas Show. Jay Thomas. Stars 2. The curious. The extreme. The fascinating. Jay Thomas is on the new Stars 2. Sirius 108 and XM 139.
JayThomas.com. Our newest t-shirt. Obama, the new Mr. Goodwrench. That's available to you right there. Okay. And KevinMeaney.com. Find out where Kevin will be performing. We also have My Daddy is a Trucker and some mess down there and all kind of other stuff. You can also email us at jthomas.com or call us here at 888-4-102-102. Well, what a lovely lady Andrea was.
Oh, my God. She was like so much fun. I had a ball with her.
You were saying boner and everything else. And, I never know how it's going to turn out.
Well, she was very receptive to that. You know, I could tell the minute we started talking to her that we were going to have a good rapport.
You could feel that.
I did. I felt it. I heard it in her voice, and I knew she wasn't afraid. And people that work in death have great senses of humor. You know, they really do.
I thought when you said boner that would be pretty much it for us.
No.
She absolutely loved it.
She laughed like a loon. You know?
And you know, she started singing that little song. Yeah. And you started talking about the baby funeral.
The baby funerals,
And I thought, well, we're going to lose her now? No.
Yeah.
She was right there.
Because she has seen the little baby caskets. Oh, they're horrible.
You know what? God. I missed one. Has she ever made love in a coffin?
Oh,
God.
Well, that's where she would have been upset. Larry is, well, they're both 5'6", 5'7". You know, they would fit perfectly in a casket, you know.
She would have answered the question.
Yeah, she
God.
would. Yeah.
Oh, don't you hate that when you think of it too late?
Yeah.
You know? Maybe she'll call back with the boner answer, Sean.
Yeah.
And if she does, put her right in here immediately. I will do it. Michelle Obama is on line one. Yes, Michelle. Yeah.
Hi, baby. How you doing, baby Jay?
Kevin, we don't know whether this is really Mrs. Obama or not. We don't know.
Mrs. Obama, it's a pleasure to meet you.
I'm a big fan of yours, Mr. Meaney. Congratulations about coming out, baby. That's fantastic.
Thank you. And my best to Malia and Kashi.
Yeah, that's right. Something like that.
Yeah.
I forget their fucking names, too, running around this bit.
They made those little dolls, and you got really mad when they made those dolls, didn't you? I wasn't
mad that they made the dolls, but they made them so fucking creepy. I just couldn't look at them. They're like
they had the Obama Chia Pet they had also.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm calling, Jay. You know, did you hear about this guy, this Obama's Fried Chicken Restaurant?
Yes, I heard about that.
Brownsville, Brooklyn, the Obama Fried Chicken Restaurant.
Obama Fried Chicken.
Well, everybody's cashing in on the Obama name, so I said, well, fuck it, let's make a little money on the side, you know, stimulate the economy.
Right.
So I'm thinking maybe we come out with a couple things like, I don't know, what do you think? Figure Barack's Beans and Franks.
All right. And what else?
Yeah. Muslim macaroni.
What's that?
Macaroni.
What's up, guys? This is the world champion Judah Friedlander from 30 Rock, and I have my own show on Raw Dog Comedy Uncensored, World Champion Radio. I'm going to be giving you behind-the-scenes look at 30 Rock, interviewing cast members like Alec Baldwin, actors from movies I've been in like The Wrestler. I'll be talking about how I'm the greatest athlete in the world, how I bowled a 300 using a golf ball. World Champion Radio, Wednesdays, 5 East to West. Raw Dog Comedy Uncensored, Sirius 104.
Fridays at 11 a.m. East. The Game On guys give you the tips and tricks to bag the girl.
Hey guys, this is Josh and Jordan from the Art of Charms Game On.
Well, it's springtime, you know, and there are a lot of women everywhere. Once you score the number, what do you do from there? I mean, you know dinner and a movie's played out, and nobody drinks coffee in the summer. What else is there?
Well, we've got you covered. Josh and I are going to share with you some of our favorite springtime date ideas.
Let's start talking about outdoor dates specifically. How about mini golf? I mean, when's the last time you played mini golf, really? I mean, if you're like most single guys, you're probably wondering why you're getting hair in weird places when the last time you played mini golf was. So this is the perfect low-maintenance date idea that gives you and her a chance to kind of goof around and get to know each other a little bit.
I like street fairs and festivals. Not only are these festivals full of delicious food and music, but they're outside and you can enjoy the weather with 10,000 of your closest friends. Most people don't go to these things unless they have somebody else to go with, so it gives you a chance to show her that you're a guy who likes to enjoy life and check out everything the city has to offer.
Also, try out a little bit of cheese and wine. Do it on the roof. Don't just like chill in your living room, you know. This is one of my favorites personally. You know, if you're not living in an apartment with a roof deck, go outside and kind of spread out a blanket with cheese and wine and just enjoy the sun or the stars if it's nighttime together. And it's always a good chance to get to know one another, kind of a more intimate setting, and it's just an interesting twist on a normal idea.
TheArtOfCharm.com for more ways to live a great life and get the girl. Only on Stars 2, Sirius 108 and XM 139.
If you're a man or a woman who has 5 to 25 pounds to lose, please listen. Have you been trying to lose the same stubborn weight for years with little or no permanent results? Do you ever feel bloated, sluggish, and tired? Many of us are overweight because we eat fast food, fatty meats, and snack food. This keeps your stomach fat and the body saggy. There's a new way to lose weight that's faster and healthier than any diet program. It's called Banitol, scientifically developed, doctor-reviewed detox detox and weight loss system that helps cleanse your body and lose the 5 to 25 pounds that some professionals say is stored in our body for years. And it's so easy. Months of failed dieting may be equal to a week of Banitol. Natural and effective. Take Banitol once in the morning, and in just days, you'll see a slimmer midsection. Banitol eliminates the weight you can't lose by starvation diets or exhausting exercise, and you don't have to take it forever.
Try Banitol risk-free. 800-390-3227. 800-390-3227. That's 800-390-3227. 800-390-3227.
I'm Mark Albarian, president of Goldline. Our country is experiencing the worst economic crisis since the Great Depression. Stocks and real estate have lost much of their value, and our government is spending trillions of dollars in a desperate attempt to bail us out. That's why you need to own gold. Gold offers diversification, and gold is one of the few investments that have gone up every year since 2001. Call Goldline right now, and I'll send you a free investor's kit and DVD with free shipping on your first order. Goldline has been in business since 1960. We have audited financial statements and over 200 employees here to serve you. Let us show you how you can acquire gold that is shipped directly to you. That's gold you can hold in your hand, not some paper promise. Call Goldline right now, and I'll send you a free investor's kit and DVD with free shipping on your first order.
Call 1-800-985-3618. 1-800-985-3618. Call Goldline right now. 1-800-985-3618. That's 1-800-985-3618.
Jay Thomas. New for afternoons. New to 108 and new to XM. Jay Thomas. Jay Thomas. Stars 2. Stars 2. Jay Thomas. Sirius 108 and XM 139.
By the way, we were talking about people listening to the Masters on the on hold. And then Sean or Garrett, what channel do we have the Masters on Sirius XM?
I'm trying to look it up right now.
Because something really wild is happening. Don't want you to rush. It leaves the radio.
It's channel 209 on XM.
Channel 209 XM, right?
Yeah.
And to find out what it is on Sirius. There's a guy that's 9 under after 15, and that's a record.
Yeah.
At this point. What's his, Chad Campbell? Is that him?
Yeah.
Chad Campbell is 9 under after 15. Now, I don't know, Kevin, do you play golf? Or
yes, I shoot in the low 80s. If it gets any warmer, I don't play. Hello.
That's like my comeback. I only have one comeback. When your IQ hits 28, sell. That's the only comeback I have.
Yeah.
I use it over and over again. So you don't play golf?
No, I do play golf.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'll take you out. So I'm a big golfer. Let's play golf.
I would love to come out.
So you know how difficult it is to shoot. 9. He had 9 birdies in a row.
Yeah, that's
what?
that's
Not in a row.
Not 9 in a row. No. He's on 4 in a row right now.
Well, Tiger went out this afternoon, didn't he?
Tiger's -1.
-1. Well, he's still got a shot.
But the guy who always leads the first day chokes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Chad. Guy named Chad. He's going to come out.
I've got it. You know what? I used to play in all the pro-ams. I played in Greensboro and in Charlotte, and I played in Hartford, Connecticut, and I play in these pro-ams. There's a pro from Buffalo, New York. Oh my God! Why does his name?
Willie Ternessa.
No.
Willie Ternessa was a famous golfer. He won the amateur back in the 30s. The Ternessa brothers.
Somebody will call and tell. But he lives up in Buffalo, and I'm playing in the Pro-Am, and we're in Greensboro, and I'm fooling around, and I'm not, not a great golfer, right? And this guy, he's not been having a good time of it, and he needs to win a tournament or do whatever, right?
Yeah.
So I happen to be really playing well, and I get out of the sand, and the ball rolls right to the pin, and everybody cheers and everything else. And so he hits his ball out of the sand, but it touches his club twice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
right?
That's a penalty.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I turn to the crowd, and I go, "Who's the pro here?" Like that. Right? And, just to laugh and all. Oh, yeah,
that's golf rage, yeah. I'm sure he totally flipped out.
He didn't flip out, but I didn't realize this. I played with Payne Stewart also, and God rest his soul and all that.
Yeah.
A complete asshole. Not a nice guy.
Payne Stewart?
Was not a nice guy.
Yeah. Well, look what happened to him.
And so
to be honest, there he was on that jet.
Well, I don't think that killed him, but so he does that, and then this guy struggles all the way around during our
those
Pro-Am
stupid
run.
pants anyway.
And so the next week is the Masters, or the week later. And of course he hates my guts from the Pro-Am, but I think he's having a good time, right? So he's leading the Masters. I'll get his name in a few minutes. He's leading the Masters the next week, and I'm sitting with a buddy of mine who had been with me, and I said, man, I got to send him a telegram. This is unbelievable, right? So my friend says, gee, I don't think you ought to send him a telegram. I said, why not? He goes, everybody was laughing, and he didn't take it well. I said, oh, baloney, he did. I sent him the telegram, congratulations, and the next day he misses the cut, and he's the first player ever to be leading the Masters on the first day and to miss the cut the second day. And we imagine that he was sitting, at his locker, telegram, opens it up, and it ruined his day, I guess. I don't know. But
when was the last time somebody sent a telegram?
I don't.
I just want to ask that question. Throw that out. Email's been around for at least 20 years.
No, but it wasn't an email. It was a
telegram.
It was a telegram.
Yeah.
They sent it to the clubhouse.
I don't think they even have telegrams anymore.
No, it was maybe not. It was 10 years ago. It was a telegram.
Yeah. Okay, all right.
He lost because of me. My friend said that. First time ever. So
I actually pulled the steering wheel off a golf cart once. Ripped the steering wheel off the golf cart.
Angry, you mean?
Yeah, angry. Because my friend would always, every time I would, we'd be playing together, and he was just as, bad as me, but he would just get under my skin, and I would hit an errant shot, and he goes, it'd be 110 degrees out in, Pasadena in the middle of the day. He goes, Kevin, you ever think about taking a lesson? And I shut up! And I just grabbed the wheel on the
rifle?
No, Mr. Garrett. And then I pulled the steering wheel off the cart and then went back into the clubhouse and
Did you bend over and shoot a hot potato out of your ass at him?
Then I said to them, the steering wheel fell off the cart. And they go, oh, really? And I said, yes, I don't know what happened. The steering wheel fell off the cart. And they had to go out and get the cart.
Yeah,
but I tell you, this guy, my friend Jay Charbonneau, if you would play with him, he could make Tiger Woods, just go insane. Okay, he's like one of my best friends, but knows how to just twist it. He was my best man at my wedding. And you saw how that worked out.
You should have gotten married at that funeral home.
I should have. God, and they should have buried me right after that.
I don't get, I don't get upset. I'm a decent golfer, but I don't get angry. But I say one thing to other golfers, and I meant it when I first started saying it, and finally, it was said to me that when I say this thing, it irritates people more than anything else.
Say it.
I'm going to do it. So you line a putt up. Right?
Let me line my putt up.
And let's say you're putting to save a par.
Okay.
So if you miss, you're going to get a bogey.
Hopefully,
obviously.
I'll get a bogey. Yeah, if I make that other.
And
shot.
I wanted to miss by just very little. And I back up. I'm very quiet.
Yeah.
I'm holding the flag. I'm waiting my turn to putt. So you putt. Go ahead, putt.
All right. Let me line it up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh.
And I say this. Ooh, that's unfortunate. And friends of mine, well, they know me, but if I'm playing with a stranger or people that I just started playing, what is the Garrett? I don't get it. I meant it. I go like this. That's unfortunate. Like that.
That's just passive aggressiveness.
No, it isn't. It really isn't.
Is that what passive aggressiveness is?
That's what
you
it
say
could
something
be.
nice, but you're really meaning to hurt someone.
Yeah.
No,
that's what. Yeah. Okay. Now I get it. That's what they said in the divorce papers.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, that's
So,
unfortunate. Yeah.
Andrew of Cleveland, Ohio, the Jay Thomas Show with Kevin Meaney. Yes, Andrew, how are you?
Hey,
Yeah.
Jay.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, the show's great with Kevin on there. I've been a fan of his for years.
Well, he is fantastic.
Why, thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Are you going to be
Absolutely
doing Cleveland anytime soon, Kevin?
I was just in Cleveland, I guess back in January or February.
And you didn't call?
No, I didn't. I was at Hilarities Comedy Club, which is right downtown, a great place. Nick Costas owns the place.
Is this going to be a regular thing with you on the show?
No.
No. Oh,
no.
Well,
You think I'm ever going to have anybody actually funnier than me on this show? I don't think so.
No, I would love to be a part of the show. That would be my dream, to be here.
Really?
Yes, it would. To hear every day with you, Jay, and I could make $100 a day.
That's exactly what I pay.
You know?
Who told you that?
You did.
Sean? That's true.
You did last night while you were drinking heavily.
It's not a joke. They get $100 a shift. That's right.
That's right up my alley. You know?
All right. Thank you, Andrew. Also, one of the big guys and one of the big management guys sent me a email, and it said, this guy's doing great. Well, but you're supposed to do great, aren't you?
Oh, really? The management guy said that?
Yeah, said you were fantastic.
Jimmy Sirius?
Jimmy Sirius said you were doing great.
Yeah, let me tell you something. This is Jimmy Sirius. Yeah.
Now,
show's going great, Jay.
We've got a recall from Michelle Obama, who was cut off at the top of the hour.
Yeah, that was
And we're now getting emails saying, was it something offensive that Mrs. Obama was saying? I don't think so.
I didn't say anything offensive. What the fuck?
Not after
Sorry,
Kevin Meaney
baby.
told the lady from the funeral parlor, did she sing when the little babies were being buried? I don't think there's anything more offensive than that.
That's some offensive shit, Mr. Meaney. How dare you, baby?
Yeah, we did not cut you off.
Yeah.
There's a hard break
we're
at
up
the top of
against
the
a hard break. That's all.
That's exactly. Yeah, you just don't know what that
She
means.
knows what a hard break is. Isn't that
Yeah.
interesting?
So that
Oh, yeah, baby. I know it all.
is it worth it to come back to you now because you're upset about these
Barack chicken, right? The Barack
Yeah,
chicken?
well, the Chia Pet you can still buy online, but not at Walgreens. The Barack, it's a Kentucky Fried Chicken, but it's in a black section of Brownsville, Brooklyn, and it's owned by a Muslim guy whose name is Mohammed
Hold on a second, baby.
Jabba. Yeah.
Hey, Barack, I'm doing the laundry. Hold on a second. Barack, why does my fucking panties, the discharge smells like Cheetos? Did you not wash your hands before you pissed in me last night, motherfucker? How many times I gotta tell you, President?
All right, now we're going to cut her off. Now we cut her off.
Wow.
That's it. That's
Wow.
that's too much.
I'm sorry.
No, that's it.
Hamburger, baby.
All right. See you later. There you go.
Bye, baby.
Bye-bye. There you go.
Oh, boy.
A Muslim girl in
And
Reno,
that guy
Nevada.
gets $100 a shift.
No.
No. Okay. I was wondering. I was going, oh, my God.
A
He did two
Muslim
bits,
gr-
he got $100.
A Muslim girl who said that her complaints of bullying and threats went unheeded by administrators in Reno, Nevada.
I believe that.
Will get $350,000 in a settlement. Jana Elahifni wore a religious headscarf and in a federal civil rights lawsuit said that the students would yell things at her and they would throw food at her headdress and try and knock it off in the cafeteria.
Yeah.
She is going to get $350,000. Now, I don't know about you, but I went to a school where if I'd have been worth over $2 million.
Yeah.
If I had complained about the stuff that happened to me.
You wore a headdress at school? Or?
No, but they would tease you. They would stuff you in a locker.
What would they tease you about, Jay?
You know, in the beginning,
you seem like a tough guy, and where you never. I don't see you being really picked on.
Well, when I was a freshman, you start out at the school and they pick on you, and it would be immersive. And I this is the problem that I had. We wore khaki uniforms.
Nice.
Okay? For some reason, I still have
blue blazer and.
Yeah, for some reason, I still have that. And when I urinate, a little trickle would be left on the,
Sure. On the khaki, a little wacky on the khaki.
I would walk in. There'd be some wacky on the khaki. They would make a comment about that, And I had a problem. I had a real,
Say this is a normal drippage, little discharge.
Little discharge problem. That's right. Yeah. And I could now, if it was today, I could sue and get $350 friggin' $1,000.
Did you ever whack your member just to get it all the discharge out, or
they would take? We had these hot dogs that were kind of they were like chicken dogs or something cheap, and sometimes, and we did this years later, we would go in the bathroom and one big guy, senior, would pretend he ripped another guy's penis off. It'd be the hot dog, and there'd be some little 8th grader in there who thought that a penis was ripped off. That we did that stuff. But those people could have sued today.
Yeah.
And I think those are the things that you need to learn how to do that make you able to get through friggin' life.
That makes you stronger,
Yes. Let's go to my friend Frank Pace. Frank, what's going on? Why are you calling me while I'm on the air, Frank?
You and Kevin Meaney together, that's a sick combination.
Right.
Hello, Frank.
Did you produce Kevin's show, Frank?
No, he had some big time people doing that.
Right.
Hey.
No, I've been Facebooking Frank in the last, for a little while now. Frank and I have, but we've known each other for a number of years, and
Frank,
he told me that
college together.
No
yes.
kidding.
Yeah.
But
Jacksonville University.
He did tell me that you two have been friends for over 60 years.
We have been.
65.
Yeah, 65 years.
65.
Yeah,
right.
That's incredible.
We're going to be cremated together. Yes, Frank.
At the Circle.
Hey, by the way, tell Armin.
Were you married at Vienna?
I can't hear you.
What kind of a phone? Does it sound like a candlestick phone? Like the Andy Griffith phone? Let me tell you, Sarah! Can they hear me, Sarah?
Did Armin blow you off?
He blew me off.
Armin
No, my friend Armin Katayan. And he blew me off, and he's rushing to see you at your house, and so I was cleaning the house like an idiot, so I did all that.
Kevin from Kensico, Jay.
That's exactly right. Frank and I wrote a movie no one cared about called Kensico once.
Yeah, I think we should revisit that. And,
okay, we will.
And throw my name into that mix. And
it's a sad movie, though. It's a sad movie.
It is a sad movie because so many people had died building that dam.
That's what it was about.
Yeah, the building of the Kensico Dam, one of the seventh wonder of the world.
Right.
One of the 7 wonders of the world.
JT, I was just dropping a guy off, and as I was getting out of the car, you were telling that story about golf. And before you said anything, I said, that's unfortunate.
That's right. I actually said it to you first. Do you consider that? Now, we play golf forever, and I started doing it with you, but I meant it when I said it, and you and some other people took offense at that.
Well, you know what's worse? When you take practice swings on the tee and hit us with your dirt.
That's another one.
Impediments coming off of your golf club than ever before. It's unbelievable, Kevin. And not only that, he's 8 times around.
I do pee a lot.
You pee a lot?
I pee a lot, yeah. I stop everywhere.
Well, that's the nature of getting out there on the course and going, let me go over to the bushes. And, that was always fascinating to me to go out there and urinate there and on the grounds of the
Frank,
course.
thanks a lot. Yeah, you know what? You sound like you're calling from, when they're calling in, napalm in Vietnam, those phones you crank,
Yes.
You're not on the pirate ship, Frank?
I am on the pirate ship.
Yeah.
And this is going there, so I'll see you guys later.
Okay, see you later. Right. Let's go to Lisa of Louisiana. Yes, Lisa, you've been listening today. I know you're a big fan of this show. How do you think Kevin Meaney is doing?
Oh, my God, the voodoo doll that I've been poking into Ronnie Lee Down Syndrome's doll is working because Kevin Meaney is the best.
Okay. All right. If we could just get him to work for $100 a shift,
we
might have something.
I think we've got something here, Jay.
Right.
Kevin, you could do it for $100, right?
Yes, absolutely. I have nothing.
Just tell your friends you're slumming.
I have nothing left. It's
so
over.
You're in town, you're not working, you go like this.
I can walk here.
I need 100.
I need $100.
You call Sean and that's it.
Yeah. You know, it all started from Facebook. I said, because I have nothing. I have no career left. It's over.
No, it's not over. You're on Sirius now.
I know. Now I'm on Sirius. Here, my big day, and I put it up there on Sirius today. I'm on the Jay Thomas show on Sirius from 3 to 6. And
Hold on a second.
People were, yeah. Go ahead, please.
I have to run to the bathroom. So you can talk, do whatever. I'll be back.
Jay's
can
gonna
I give you a pointer, Kevin?
Yes, go right ahead.
Well, since he's leaving the room.
No, he's gone. He had to go to the bathroom. That's fine. I'm in complete control of the show now.
Well, we can talk about him, though.
What do you like about Jay?
No. Let me just tell you. Anytime some Hollywood type comes in, Jay likes to try to, get in on their next project.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just saying, if you do that, you might have screwed yourself out of $100 a day. You might want to just say, I'll check you out on Facebook, because Jay doesn't know anything about Facebook.
No, he doesn't. But I actually told Jay today about Facebook and told him that he had his own page up there. And he has his own page, but he only and somebody else has put that page up for him.
But he also has a fan site that he doesn't know anything about either.
How many fans does he have on his site?
I think we're up to 11.
Yeah, he only has 28 people on his Facebook page. And he didn't
those
even.
are people that'll friend anybody.
So, and there's Shuley up there, and Rodney, and people, and Sean. Sean's up there.
Those are mercy friends.
Yeah, but they signed up.
Okay.
I didn't accept his friendship on Facebook.
You didn't accept his
Just because I knew he wasn't running the site. It was someone else. I felt like it was a fake.
So just be careful, Don't say, oh, well, you're working on this project? I'd love to work on that with you. Jay will cut you like a bitch.
Well, I would like to do any project that Jay was doing. I love Jay.
I know, but, there's not always spots for two of you.
I know.
Okay.
But he's a great guy.
Isn't he fabulous?
Yeah, and he's so funny. And he's one of the best radio people out there.
He's able to tell people they suck and they still like him.
But it hurts. It hurts him when someone doesn't like him. Do you know that?
Really?
Yes, he's a very sensitive man.
Well, that's the cancer in him.
He has cancer? Why did you have to let everybody know that poor Jay Thomas has cancer?
He's born a cancer.
Oh, he's born a cancer. God. That's got to be the worst sign. What sign are you? Cancer. I'm a cancer. With cancer. I would never want to be a cancer. I'm a Taurus.
Thanks. I'm a Cancer.
You're a Cancer? I'm sorry.
God damn it.
Yeah. That's nice.
We're not sensitive at all.
No.
No.
I am. I'm a Taurus. I'm very sensitive, and I've got a real hot temper. I'll rip a...
Well, yeah, you rip what? Steering wheel?
Steering wheel off a golf cart, God, I can't do this show without Jay. This is horrible.
Well, wait. Maybe we can sing the song together.
What song do you want to sing, hon?
One guess.
You want to sing the penis song?
No.
Oh, penis. Did you see Frankie Avalon on American Idol last night?
No, I'm not lame.
He sang Venus.
Yeah.
He did. He looked very good.
Wow.
He looked really, really good.
Now, let's sing the I Don't Care song.
Oh, I don't care. Meow, meow, meow. I don't care. Jay's in the bathroom. He's got diarrhea. I don't care. Join me.
He doesn't care.
I don't care.
He doesn't care.
He does not care. Meow, meow, bing, 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 bing. Well, thank you for calling.
Okay, I'm back.
Oh, my God.
Yay. I can't believe... Did you stay on the line this long with her?
We did. I was just hanging. She wanted to sing I Don't Care.
Wow.
That's
embarrassing.
We did a whole thing with you.
By the way, the
toilet seat?
The baked potato I had is now a mashed potato.
Oh, God. Why did you have to
potatoes all gratin.
Oh, God. All right. Well, whatever you, did you have a good time talking to Kevin, Lisa?
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay, good. All right.
Yeah, have a good Easter, man.
All right. Hey, by the way, every ha-ha seat person, I try and bring a guest on that is specifically for them. Coming up in a few minutes, since I know you like testicles, we're going to go to the Testicle Festival.
Oh. Easter is right around the corner.
Well, okay, it looks like an Easter egg, kind of a sacky Easter egg.
This is kind of weird. I remember when we were kids on Palm Sunday, we'd collect as many palms as we could, and we'd set the basement up like a Miami nightclub. That was always a fun thing to do. We'd just get them for can we have your palms? We just set up the basement, and we'd go down there and sing songs. And
now, why is it Palm Sunday? Now, is this weekend Easter, or is this Palm
Easter is
Sunday?
Easter is this Sunday, yeah.
So the past Sunday was Palm Sunday.
Palm Sunday.
And what does that denote? I mean, I went to Catholic school, but I have certainly forgotten.
And Good Friday, let's have a burger. Burger on Good Friday.
Right.
Rare, please.
But what is the palm? What does that mean?
I'm going to have my daughter over and have a pot roast. What did you give her? Pot roast? How dare you give her pot roast? It's Good Friday! Good Friday! How dare you!
Is your wife ex-wife a Catholic?
They're all Catholic, Very Catholic.
Now, when you were getting married and walking down the aisle, this is the question.
Not a good time to come out.
No, I know, but I mean, you knew then that, Now,
I suppressed that, though, for the day.
Can I be honest with you, though?
Yeah.
Like, how long have you known Frank Pace? A long time? My friend forever.
Yeah, I've known Frank for a number of years. And he actually grew up here in New York. And, he's... He went to the same high school as I did.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. I think, and he's not here to say it, but I think that Frank and me and some other... I mean, I didn't know... But people would say to me, well, I always knew Kevin was gay. Mm-hmm. They would say that. And it was like you thought people didn't know it. I didn't care, so I didn't even get into that. So when you finally came out, did people say, well, we always knew you were gay?
Yeah. Which, and I actually talked to my parents and I said, did you always know? And they go, yes, we just didn't want to tell you. We knew you were gay. We didn't know how to tell you. Thought you'd figure it out yourself.
Well, didn't you feel odd when you heard that you'd had all of this angst?
Yes, of course I did. I felt like, why didn't I say anything, All these years pretending, and...
You can't say anything. It's like...
It was just refreshing, like where nobody got mad at me, except,
the wife.
My other daddy.
Your wife didn't think you were gay?
Well, I guess not.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's wild. That is wild stuff.
Yeah,
Doc, did you know Kevin was a homo? Ed, did you ever booger Kevin? Did you? Did you ever do it to him in the bug hole? That's weird.
Jason of Toronto, Canada. Yes, Jason. How are you?
I'm great, Jay. I just wanted to let you guys know the show is fantastic, and Kevin is a great addition. I had a question for Kevin about his acting career. Does he always pick up the role of pudgy guy in the boardroom with the bow tie? I think I've seen him in like 12 shows as that guy.
God, I wish there were 12 shows on IMBD. There's one movie, Big. I was in the boardroom, but they play it over and over. Well, there was Uncle Buck. He was pudgy. Mm-hmm. Then there was Plump Fiction. I played the pudgy chocolate dealer.
And Plump
Fiction. Yeah, that was a big movie.
Willy Wonka?
No, I wasn't in Willy Wonka, but thank you. Mm-hmm. What other? The day my parents ran away, I was the plump talk show host. Yeah. Because you know why I'm the plump? Because I have a weight problem. That's why.
How tall are you?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I'm 5'8", pushing 5'9".
Okay, and what do you weigh?
I'm under 200 now.
Okay, so I weigh like 190 pounds.
Mm-hmm. But you're like 6 foot.
No, I'm not. I'm not.
No, you're not?
Mm-mm.
Well, you have put on some weight, though.
Well, no, I don't.
Haven't you put on weight since the Wally George show?
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, you've put on weight since then.
I probably put on 20 pounds.
Absolutely.
It's probably like 170. Well, that's when I was actually
That's when you were doing coke.
I was doing a ton of coke.
Yeah,
that's right.
Up your ass.
The suppositories.
Yeah, you said that yourself. That's in your biography.
It is.
That's your first chapter.
I once sent a resume to a publicist or something, and I'll pull it out, but I basically said I was on Mork and Mindy, but and for many people, I said I would have been better known if I'd have been Robin Williams' coke dealer than his co-star. Mm-hmm. And the publicist said, I don't think you want to send that out. You don't want to send that out. But I do remember that you're right. Now, I wasn't a big coke doer, but it was everywhere when I hit Hollywood.
Right.
It was. I just don't have an addictive personality. Mm-hmm. But no, I used to work out religiously, 2 hours a day, 5-6 days a week. And after a few years, I said, I just can't do this anymore. I still work out, but what it takes to stay like that was ridiculous. And that's why when I look at Arnold Schwarzenegger or Sylvester Stallone or any of these guys that are like, my age, close to my age, and they're still in great shape, I got to tell you, there's some juice there. There's juice being shot.
Oh, you think so?
It's too difficult. I mean, even prize fighters that are middleweights end up being, like Roy Jones Jr.
Yeah.
Isn't he a light heavyweight or something?
I think he's a heavyweight now.
But he runs he works out all the time. As you get older, you end up looking like a silverback gorilla.
He's probably on the juice. That's what you're saying.
No, I don't. What I'm saying is you gain weight to keep your weight down, and to keep the cut,
I look
muscles.
at pictures of myself when I was on methamphetamine, and I was so thin.
Right.
And I looked so good. And then, you go 20 years, 30 years after the meth, and you've bulked up a little bit because you're eating 3 meals a day.
Jason of Toronto, have you enjoyed hanging on the phone just like you and Kevin and I are talking to each other like pals?
Yeah, I have actually, and I wanted to ask that you're talking about coke and the dad from Alf. What was that guy's name, Jay?
The dad.
The guy who played the dad on Alf.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he sounds just like Joe Lieberman.
What was
Max?
His name? Max Headroom.
Max.
Wasn't
he had a coke problem, didn't he?
Yeah, I think meth.
No.
Yes, he did.
The dad from Alf had a coke?
Yes.
But he talks like Joe Lieberman. He's like the guy with the glasses, the little kind of...
Max Wright.
Max Wright is wrong.
I have never heard that he had
Put
a
it
coke
in there.
All right.
Put it in there.
Put it in there, Max Wright. Thank you. We'll check on that. I still need to remember the golfer. Joey Sindelar. That's the golfer from Buffalo, New York.
Early
His career.
Alzheimer's. Joey Sindelar! That's Joey Sindelar! I got it! I'm okay.
When did I mention that? An hour ago?
Yeah.
Did I just bring it up?
I remember it. Joey Sindelar!
Cassius
says here, in 2000 arrested for drunk driving, and another DUI arrest in 2003.
Well, think about it. He didn't work anymore. It's depressing. You drink, you get drunk driving.
I haven't had a series since 1991, and I haven't been arrested for DUI.
He received
but I was actually arrested at the airport, so
Excuse
for
me.
terrorism.
Yeah. I mean, twice.
Yeah, right, okay. Twice. Okay.
Thank you. And for killing a black girl on an ID card. Okay.
I didn't kill her. I just said I killed her.
Well, that's good
That was
enough.
funny. That was comedy. Where did you get this? I killed her. And then I took her ID. I found the ID, and I was going through somebody's garbage. I found a file cabinet. I go, ooh, I could use that. I put that in the back of my minivan, and then there was stuff in it.
You mean it was on the street?
Yes! I found stuff on the street, and I brought it home, and there were all these files. I go, look at this file, little girl. I'm going to put that in my wallet and tell everybody that's my ID. That's where I got it from. I still have it, but I don't use it anymore.
Let's go to Cassius of Pittsburgh. The Jay Thomas Show, 888-410-102. Coming up, people from the Testicle Festival. Yes, go ahead, Cassius.
I don't want to turn this into a Kevin Meaney ass-kissing session or anything, but anybody who can make me laugh with a baby coffin joke, that's some talent.
That's high comedy.
I was driving home from work laughing at a baby coffin joke. Anyway, Jay, I don't mean to turn this into an indictment of Shuley or anything like that, because I'm sure you get that all the time, but can you see the difference between having a professional comedian like Rodney or Kevin in the ha-ha seat rather than a hack like Shuley who has never said anything funny? Come on, Jay. That sympathy laugh you give him all the time, it's ridiculous.
You're right. You're totally
Get Kevin in there on Fridays.
I made him laugh, Kevin. I made it because I agreed. Okay, sure. That's right. That's right. Well, what happens is, and I think that I'm part of the problem, these people come in here and they're really funny, Kevin, and they're professional and everything else. And then after a while, I keep you around, and I wait until you're not that funny anymore.
Yeah.
And it'll happen to you. And you're fresh now, and everybody loves you. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just laying and waiting, because that's what I do.
Well, I'm here all for selling CDs. That's what I'm trying to do.
You have a CD for
I have
sale?
a CD, and I don't want you to buy the hard copy. I want you to digitally download it, because that's the only way I'm going to make some money.
KevinMeaney.com?
You can go to KevinMeaney.com and go there and buy the CD, or go directly to CD Baby and digitally download it.
Is that more jokes about dead babies?
No.
Is that...
Maybe there's a... I'll throw it... I'll call you
Throw
with
a dead baby joke.
I'll call you with a dead baby joke.
Well, Kevin, thank you very much, Kevin. But all of these people are under the J. Thomas umbrella, and they're going to stay there, and they're going to stay safe. Kevin.
What happened?
That's dramatic pause.
Wow, that was. I thought he dropped dead. I was like, oh my God, he
Kevin,
died.
Dramatic pause.
Yeah.
I don't know where you fit into this, but it's fabulous having you here. You're not leaving yet, and the people from the Testicle Festival are next at Sirius 108 XM 139.
The Jay Thomas Show. For idiots, by idiots. Non-stop idiot action. The new afternoon show on Stars 2. Jay Thomas on Sirius 108 and XM 139. Stars 2. When you need a fix of fear, of horror, when you need at least an ounce of ooze of blood and guts, Fangoria Radio with Dee Snyder and Debbie Rochon take you there. It's Fangoria's 30th anniversary, and Fangoria Radio is moving to Stars 2 starting Friday night, April 17th. Stars 2 is the new home for Fangoria Radio, and it's never felt so good. They're so gory. Friday, April 17th at 10 p.m. Fangoria. Stars 2, Sirius 108 and XM 139.
Are you receiving monthly checks from a lawsuit you won? Are you having trouble paying your bills every month because the settlement money you're getting just isn't enough? Well, there is a way you can get the cash you need now in one lump sum payment. For free information to see how much cash you can get, call Peachtree Settlement Funding now at 1-800-931-7654. Find out how you can turn your future structured settlement payments into the cash you need now to get free of your credit card debt, to meet your rising mortgage payments, to pay your medical bills and other expenses. If you're receiving payments from a lawsuit, call Peachtree Settlement Funding. For your free information, call now 1-800-931-7654. You have bills piling up that need to be paid now. So why wait any longer? Get the future money you have coming to you now when you need it most. For your free information, call Peachtree Settlement Funding now at 1-800-931-7654. That's 1-800-931-7654. 1-800-931-7654.
In these times of financial uncertainty, 10 to 20% of your net worth should be invested in gold. It is a completely private and confidential investment with absolutely no paperwork required. Gold has proven itself to be the best tangible asset to diversify your financial portfolio. Join the other smart investors and call Capital Rarities to see how you can benefit from our buying power, wholesale relationships, and 20 years of success in the gold market. Call today and learn about the benefits of owning gold. 1-877-711-2424 or go to our website, www.capitalrarities.com. Capital Rarity prides themselves on the relationships they have built in the gold market and have the lowest prices in the industry. Call 1-877-711-2424. 1-877-711-2424. That's 1-877-711-2424. Minimum investment of $20,000 required.
Society's oddities played like a fiddle. The Jay Thomas Show, the new afternoon show on Stars 2, Sirius 108 and XM 139.
Say, everybody haven't seen my balls, they're big and salty and brown. If you ever need a quick pick-me-up, just stick my balls in your mouth. Ooh, suck on my chocolate salted balls.
The late, great Isaac Hayes, who quit South Park because they made fun of what? Of Scientology? Something like that? And just think, you think Isaac Hayes is up in outer space right now with Chagrin II or whatever it is? I don't know. But, hey, let's welcome Christine Camarillo. Go to OakdaleCowboyMuseum.com Hi, Christine. How many testicles did you down over the weekend?
Oh, just a few.
Yeah. So the big testicle festival, my friend Kevin Meaney is here, and he likes a good testicle every now and again also.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So when was the dinner, what, a couple of weeks ago, something like that?
The dinner was March the 30th.
Wow. We've had you guys on before, and the poor, is it a calf's testicle or whose testicle is it?
It's a bull. It's a bull, a baby bull's testicle.
Well, we kind of use big bull testicles for this.
I like the baby bull. I'm not a pedophile, but it's just that I think they're more they're more tender. The baby bull.
Of course they are.
When you castrate the baby bull.
Yeah, they are. The baby bull's testicles are
tender.
A lot more tender. However, since we need so many balls for the testicle festival, we have to order these.
Did you just say, out of this Christy Camarillo little voice, did you just say balls just now?
Well, I kind of followed your lead from the song we were listening to.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's a television show, and every time somebody says something, you follow them. Didn't your parents tell you that? All right. By the way, do not hand the phone to anybody else. I want to have the interview with you.
Uh-oh.
I thought you were going to hand it to one of the board members. But
yeah.
No.
Well, now he's going to feel
Well,
terrible.
At the end of the interview, we'll talk to him. But right now, Oakdale Cowboy Museum.com. Where are you located?
That would be in Oakdale, Jay.
What state are we in? I don't even know where we are.
We're in California, and we're about 80 miles east of Yosemite National Park.
Oh.
And we are about 20 miles west of the town of Modesto, California.
Oh,
so we're
I'm
in
sorry.
California's fertile valley. We're a very.
What are you doing lines now? You're starting to
farming community, a ranching community.
Mm-hmm. Now here's the thing. It's hard for me to imagine cowboys. They catch the calf, they brand the calf, whatever, and then they castrate the calf. The bull or the full bull. Who was the first person that you guys can find back there at the Oakdale Cowboy Museum who said, "Hey, why don't we fry a couple of them up and put salt and pepper on them and eat them?"
Well, it's been going on for years.
Do you think they were gay when they did that? Like years ago, like out on the range, a couple of guys, they see a bull and they cut his testicles off and they kind of like, "Hey, you want to eat them?" And, well, nobody's around.
It starts as a joke.
Yeah.
I dare you to eat one of the bull's balls.
It's probably, and you think they got turned on by it or anything?
No.
No.
Okay, all right, that's sick. I'm sorry.
So.
To me, it had to be way back when.
I just kind of like Brokeback Mountain, kind of
a 10-cent bet. It had to be one of these, and I just need I bet you 10 cents you won't eat a bull balls like that. I mean, do you have any of that information? Because it's an odd thing to eat. I've been hunting. We've shot things, but no one's ever sat around and said, "Hey, let's eat the deer's balls." You know what I'm saying? And now I hear Eric back there. Eric, you're on the board of directors of the Testicle Festival?
Well, yes, sir.
Okay. What is the history of it? I mean, let's say Kevin, Eric, Christine, we're all out together, and we've been castrating
and drinking,
and we've been branding, and we're, the fire's going, and
it's dark,
dark, and the fire's going, and we've eaten some meat, or we've had some corn pone, or
I'm
whatever.
just taking my chaps off.
Yeah,
feeling a little randy.
Yeah, we're pulling baked potatoes out of his ass. That's where you keep them when you're on the range.
Sure.
We got the coffee going and the whole thing. Who do you think, Eric, said, "Hey, why don't we fry up a couple of these bull balls?"
Well, I think it goes to what Kevin said about maybe a few cocktails involved and maybe a good dare. That's kind of my guess, and I would imagine that the first ones were probably not as tasty as the ones that we serve.
No, because they probably didn't cook them first. They probably just let me just put them in my mouth.
Exactly. You're picking out hairs and everything.
Yeah,
we do that for everybody now. That's
right. So we're plucking the hairs out. There's hairs on the bull ball.
Yes. Do you get where do you get them? Do they come frozen? Do they come in a package? Can you order bull balls?
Yeah, they come from a packing house in 5-gallon containers, and they're USDA approved. They are checked.
What are they? What kind of solution are they in?
I think it's just there's no solution. They're just cut.
They've got to be like in a pickle juice or something.
It's not a pickle juice.
Nothing.
No, I think it's just might be a water. And then when we get them, then we prepare them. We take the cover off, and then the inside part is what we cut up into little bite-sized pieces and tenderize. And then they're marinated. They're put with a dry rub, and then they're marinated overnight. And
so you're not eating a ball.
You're eating a piece of
a ball. I want to eat the ball. I want to eat 2 at a time.
Now, Eric, are you a cook? Are you a chef?
Yeah, I work in the prep crew, and I work with the guys doing it, getting it all ready. Yeah.
What do you season it with? Like, you get the 5-gallon thing of bull's balls.
Right. We use a Santa Maria dry rub. We put some garlic in there.
You know what?
A dry rub?
One weekend, I went out of town and
kind of.
I paid $100 for a Santa Maria dry rub.
Yeah.
And after that, it was a
happy ending.
That's right. So now, when you fry them up, does it just does it taste like liver, or is there a nut inside of the ball?
There's no nut, and unlike popular belief, there is no like that gum when you bite into it. There's no squish or anything like that. It's got a consistency almost like a piece of chicken, and they taste like whatever they're breaded in. And so with this dry rub, that's pretty much what the taste is. Some people dip them in salsa. Some people like putting ranch dressing on them. Some people just eat them plain. But
now, Christy, did you ever see those Swanson's bull balls with honey mustard sauce on them? You can get those in the freezer thing. Now, Christy, are you a testicle eater? Do you enjoy them?
Yes, I am.
And do you?
Are they an aphrodisiac at all? Like the Chinese, you'd have to ask a Chinese person about
a Chinaman.
That.
You mean
Chinaman? Yeah.
Well, for me, it doesn't seem like that. But if you ask any of the guys, they think they are an aphrodisiac.
Yeah. You go into the bathroom right there, and man, look at me! I got a big boner after eating all those bull balls.
You know what I'd put on it? Wait a second. I'd go right back to Kevin's act. We need to put some Jack sauce from Jack in the Box in it.
You can hold the Jack sauce.
That's a good idea. Maybe we'll ask him to be a co-sponsor next year.
Now, by the way, Christine Camarillo, Eric, how do you say your last name, please?
It's Partenheimer.
Partenheimer.
His name was my name, too.
Yeah. So now, does anyone get offended when you guys have the Testicle Festival? How long has it been going on, Christy?
She just stepped up to get the door.
Sure.
We've been doing this one here for about 10, 12 years, I think, something like that.
Yeah. Right. Anybody complain and say it besmirches our community or anything like that?
No. We've never had anything like that. It actually just keeps growing. It started off a fairly small gathering of people, and
probably
now we're
started off with just maybe 2 balls.
With 2, and then we've kind of gone to 4, and we just you have to go in even increments, but yeah.
Next year, would you leave 2 seats at the table? Kevin, I'd like you to be my guest at next year's Testicle Festival.
I would love to be your guest at the Testicle.
At the Oakdale Rotary Club, who sponsors it, and the Oakdale Cowboy Museum in the lovely town of Oakdale, California.
And hey, Jay, if you'd like to, if you want to make a little barter here, we'll send you a "I Had a Ball at the Oakdale Testicle Festival" T-shirt for one of your T-shirts.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Sure. Sean, can we arrange that? We'll get a testicle. I had a ball. Can Kevin get one too?
Absolutely.
You know, and Jay, you and I can wear our real tight jeans and show our moose knuckles.
Yeah, we'll have a special table for you guys to wear that.
And the people go, wow, look at their moose knuckles. Jay, you know what a moose knuckle is?
I know what a moose knuckle is.
Oh, good for you.
But I don't have those. I don't have those. Only women have them. How much money did you raise with people downing testicles?
We think we're going to probably net out again this year at about $28,000.
Wow!
How much is that per ball?
Well, we serve 400 pounds of testicles.
Bull's testicles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We order 400 pounds, and we get it's almost a pound a person. I guess.
Hey, Eric, sometimes they serve things like in a, like a little bird's nest made of, potatoes and stuff. Would you ever make something that looks like a jock strap and serve them in that? You ever do something like that?
If that's something you guys would like, I'll come up with something for you.
I would like that.
Yeah, sure.
I would definitely like that.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Absolutely.
Well, listen, always fun. We've talked to you guys before. Thank you from the Testicle Festival, and we'll be there next year. And so did the economy hurt the annual Testicle Festival?
No, actually, it was better this year than it's been in the last few years. We weren't quite sure what to expect, but people like their balls.
They sure do.
I recommend that you send some of those balls down to Washington.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, somebody needs to grow a pair.
The old GOP could use some good old balls.
Christy Camarillo and Eric Partenheimer. All right. And he cooks them. She eats them. Go to the OakdaleCowboyMuseum.com, the Testicle Festival. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jay. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
A lot of fun. Well, you will admit, Kevin, that our first guest, it was not a good one. But since then, has it gotten better guest-wise?
Oh, God. Even though Bruce, I think we beat him up pretty good, and I think that was fun to, just for our own enjoyment.
Well, he needed to jump out there. Everybody else we've had.
Andrea was great.
Boom.
She came out of the box.
Yes.
The bull's testicles.
Fabulous. The girl was laughing.
Yeah. Even with the baby bull. She loved that whole pedophile thing,
All of it.
That was good.
Serve it Jack sauce.
Yeah.
Jocks. We did all the jokes.
Yeah.
Did we leave any jokes on the table before we go away?
Oh, I'm sure we did.
Okay.
I don't know, but I know you will. You're so quick on your seat.
Oh, I am. The Masters, by the way, is on channel 209 XM and Sirius, by the way, Garrett?
Yeah, if you have the best of XM with Sirius.
Okay, then you'll see. And something really exciting has happened. The guy is 9 under.
Well, he bogeyed 17.
Oh, you're kidding.
Yeah.
Who, the guy that was...
Chad Campbell.
Campbell.
Oh, my God.
You didn't send him a telegram, did you?
I did not.
You probably go, telegram to Chad Pennington.
Joey
You're doing
Sindelar.
great. Jay Thomas.
When he missed the putt, Joey Sindelar said, "Oh, that's unfortunate."
Yeah.
All right. It's Sirius 108 XM 139.
Jay Thomas Show. Every day something new, something bizarre. For you, for now. The new afternoon show on Stars 2, Sirius 108 and XM 139. The new Stars 2, Sirius 108, XM 139. Ian Vinny, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. East, Sirius 6 West. A Me and Vinny replay directly after the show. Maxim Radio with Covino and Rich. Noon to 3 p.m. East, 9 a.m. to noon West. Maxim Radio with Covino and Rich. Replay from 6 till 9 p.m. East. The Jay Thomas Show. 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. East. The Jay Thomas Show. Replayed from 9 till midnight Eastern. The new Stars 2. The new Stars 2. The new Stars 2. Sirius 108 and XM 139.
End the IRS nightmare now. Call the experts at the Tax Debt Relief Center for your free consultation. Find out how the Tax Debt Relief Center can help you settle back taxes, help you with penalties and interest, help release liens, stop levies and seizure, and end embarrassing wage garnishments. If you have $15,000 or more in tax debt, call us now. Call 800-719-8132 for your free consultation. That's 800-719-8132. Call now. 800-719-8132.
Hello there, this is Leaf.
And Leaf,
the Hearts of Romaine for GreatEyeglasses.com. Hey, Leaf, how's it going with getting those glasses for your mother-in-law anyway?
Well, how do you think it's going? It's my mother-in-law.
What's wrong with your mother-in-law?
It's his mother-in-law?
Oh, right.
Yeah. So what's the deal? I thought she knew what she wanted.
Knew what she wanted. Don't pop a vein there, Leaf.
Well, didn't you tell her to go to GreatEyeglasses.com?
Well, I hate to say it, but that's the problem.
Careful there, Leaf. We're doing their commercial.
Yeah, I know, but when I showed her the website, she saw the prices, she flipped out and wouldn't leave the computer.
No.
Yep, and just sat there mumbling. Should I get the blue or the brown, the yellow or the green? I know, I'll get them all.
Ouch.
Next thing you know, we got more orders than a drill sergeant.
So what'd you do?
Well, you know the old saying, if you can't beat them.
Hey, look at those glasses.
Nice. They came this morning and only cost me $14.99.
And your mother-in-law?
She loves me!
Well, there you have it. GreatEyeglasses.com. High-quality prescription eyeglasses starting at just $15. Our name says it all. GreatEyeglasses.com.
So you want to stop smoking? Well, you could try the nicotine patch or gums to find out they have a success rate of 7% and no refunds when it doesn't work 93% of the time. Here's a better option. It's called All Natural Smoke Free, and it's a complete stop smoking program with no caffeine or nicotine. And here's the best part. You can try it free. Grab a pen and take this number down. 1-800-218-0291 to get your free order of All Natural Smoke Free. Call 1-800-218-0291. 1-800-218-0291.
Jay Thomas. Jay Thomas Show. The afternoon drive show on the new Stars 2, Sirius 108 and XM 139.
How many horrible things are said about Rodney Lee Conover or Madison or Shuley or at a later date even you. I want you to notice that nothing negative was said about me. And that's really all I care about.
Yeah.
Is that you guys...
That's all you should care about. You know,
wonderfully funny and everything else. But if ever the phone call came in, he's better than you, then I don't think we'd ever hear you again at Sirius XM.
Well, I wouldn't be. I'm not good with rejection. That's my problem with...
Well, you make sure they don't like you more than me, and we'll have no problem.
Yeah.
So sometimes if you come back, here's what I'd like you to do. If you've really been killing, and I haven't been, I'd pull back if I were you.
Mm-hmm.
Just it's just a word of the wise. Just want to Are you
Jay,
pulling back now?
Yeah, no. I was just wondering, did we?
There's a lot of truth in what I'm saying.
Like what there was a lot of the news out there about what Barack Obama watches on TV. Did you see that?
What's funny about it is that I think people that supposedly dislike him, I don't know what they hate about him, but the fact that of what he now, and I'm going to tell you this: Ronald Reagan would watch Hee Haw reruns. I mean, it was reported that he watched that,
Mm-hmm.
But now with the internet and everything else, I knew that, and I think I said it on the radio. Is it over? Show's over? Oh my God! What does he watch, Kevin?
Well, there's a lot of people commenting on it.
Right. They hate him. They hate him for what he watches.
Yeah. Who cares? It probably is a Muslim movie anyway.
That's exactly right. Right.
Just racist rants that
because of the internet. That's right.
He doesn't have time to watch TV. He's too busy trying to destroy America.
Kevin, I'm going to send you for this show not just $100, but a 5-gallon bottle of bull's testicles.
I would love that. My boyfriend
as a parting
and I
gift.
Would love them.
All right. Sean and Garrett. All right. I'll see you guys in 20 minutes at Howard 101. Tomorrow morning it starts bright and early, 7 o'clock Eastern Time. And for now, we'll see you later. Kevin, you were great. Thanks,
Jay.
All right. Wow. Wish I was out there listening.
Hi, I'm Lino Rulli, the Catholic guy from the Catholic Channel on Sirius. For most people, Easter is all about the Easter Bunny and candies and chocolates, but for us it's a very special event as we celebrate Easter with live masses from around the world. Join us from St. Patrick's Cathedral in New York all weekend, and Sunday morning we're live from the Vatican for Mass celebrated by Pope Benedict XVI. To get all the Mass times, go to Sirius.com/Catholic. Join us as we celebrate Easter on the Catholic Channel, Sirius 159.
Fridays at 11 a.m. East. The Game On guys give you the tips and tricks to bag the girl.
Hey guys, this is Josh and Jordan from The Art of Charm's Game On.
So now you got your tax return back and you decided to spend it wisely. That is, out drinking with your buddies at bar and trying to pick up chicks. Let's make sure, though, that you get the most bang for your buck. And here's where most guys go wrong when they're out at the bar.
Bad body language is the first point. Your body language can betray your neediness and your desperation. By leaning in toward her or awkwardly sitting and standing, you show your lack of confidence. In order for her to be comfortable around you, you need to feel comfortable in your own skin. Own your environment and be in your element. The more you stand like Peter Parker, the more she wants to see Spider-Man.
And also, if you're a guy who takes on kind of a sleazy, smooth persona and goes out solely just to pick up women, then pay attention to this. And women can tell whether or not you're actually comfortable around women. by the way you touch or don't touch them. A lot of guys who are not comfortable around women are awkward for a reason. They get there and they touch and it just comes straight across. Women will just assume that's because other women don't like you. Therefore, they will not like you either.
You guys gotta lose your wingman. The only thing more intimidating than being approached by a stranger is being approached by two strangers at the same time. Besides, approaching in tandem signals that you're more into sharking the bar with your buddy for a hookup than you are into actually getting to know her. By approaching alone, you can avoid these pitfalls and look that much more confident.
TheArtOfCharm.com for more ways to live a great life and get the girl. Only on Stars 2, Sirius 108 and XM 139.
I'm Mark Albarian, president of Goldline. Our country is experiencing the worst economic crisis since the Great Depression. Stocks and real estate have lost much of their value, and our government is spending trillions of dollars in a desperate attempt to bail us out. That's why you need to own gold. Gold offers diversification, and gold is one of the few investments that have gone up every year since 2001. Call Goldline right now, and I'll send you a free investor's kit and DVD with free shipping on your first order. Goldline has been in business since 1960. We have audited financial statements and over 200 employees here to serve you. Let us show you how you can acquire gold that is shipped directly to you. That's gold you can hold in your hand, not some paper promise. Call Goldline right now, and I'll send you a free investor's kit and DVD with free shipping on your first order.
Call 1-800-985-3618. 1-800-985-3618. Call Goldline right now. 1-800-985-3618. That's 1-800-985-3618.
Over 60 million people are afraid to look in the mirror. Our pillows reveal the truth, and the shower drain tells all.